What is up, guys?
Howdy.
We're live, right?
I think so. It's your rodeo.
My rodeo? Yeah, I think we're live. Hello, anybody? Yeah, we're live. We're good. Well, you know what? It's been too long. Too long. I think it was like a year ago since all three of us were together. And I'm glad we're back again. Because again, there's nothing more fun that I find than hanging out with my two bros here, where we get to bullshit, chat, do whatever. And again, this is like a Q&A thing. You know, you can ask us whatever. But again, I'm just happy to see you two. I'm happy to see Cody showing off the pistolas. You know, again, I feel like taking off my shirt just so I can compete with him visually. and young and Happy Charles. I love Happy Charles there with the blue and everything.
Is that the last time I was on your stream? Was when I was miserable because I was getting ready to leave? Is that the last time?
You were miserable about something. We'll say that's what it was. But yeah, you were definitely upset.
You know what it was?
That was the one where you got really, really upset about the chat because they were like, "What's wrong with Charles?" And you were like, "Fuck, was I that bad?"
I have
Me
no
and Rudy were
excuses
like,
now.
"Yes."
I have no excuses now.
Yeah, Charles was like yelling racial slurs. You know, I don't know what to do.
That was awful.
But again, two best bros. Again, I love you both, and I'm glad we're here. And again, we're just going to bullshit. And for those joining, thank you for joining. Again, this is very informal. We got a few topics we want to touch on. Obviously, the Oscars that happened last night. But again, I just wanted to catch up with you guys. I know you've been super busy. You've been doing your own thing. So first and foremost, Charles, what you been up to? What's going on?
I'm slightly getting better. I had a little bit of a scare, which is why I didn't join you guys for the debrief. But starting to feel a bit better. There's something wrong with my. I thought I had a gallbladder taken out in 2018, but apparently, as far as the UK is concerned, I still have one and it's inflamed. So someone's got splaining to do.
Whoa! And, so your body still thinks it has it?
I don't know.
Oh,
apparently, wow. I have stones in my, I don't know.
Gallstones.
Yeah, gallstones in my tract, whatever, my upper torso area. And something's inflamed, but I don't know. I thought mine was removed, but I felt really gnarly in January, and you know, every day's different, and I'm starting to get a little bit more okay, not 100%, but I don't feel as lethargic as I was maybe even a month ago. So there's that.
All right, hey, that's something. I mean, you feel better than recently. This is the best you've felt in a while, right?
Every day it seems like I'm getting better.
That's
Charles has like a Looney Tunes level of bad luck. It's fucking, like I always feel bad, and then I can't help but like get a little bit of dark humor out of it. It's like you're the only motherfucker to get gallstones without a gallbladder.
I remember I've said this before, but I remember when we first started hanging out and just all these things were happening to Charles, and I messaged Cody like, "Dude, is he okay, man? And what's going on here?" Oh, it's the same shit, Rudy. It's every year. It's something else, man. Don't worry about it, man. I'm like, oh, it's a regular thing. Okay.
Like, what happened? What happened now? Did he lose something? Something got stolen, or he's in the hospital for something? Yeah, he's fine.
Both. Somebody stole my gallbladder at the hospital.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's the motherfucker that would end up in the bathtub vice, and I'd be like, of course.
Oh god. But that's why we
they
love
didn't even
you,
have
man.
the decency to take it all out. They left just enough to get stones.
As long as we're laughing about it, I don't know what matters.
Yeah.
We're all rooting for you, man. That's what it's all about, man.
I appreciate it. Just don't bet on me.
No.
Don't bet.
Charles could get a sex change and still have erectile dysfunction.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, I have problems with embryos right now. So
wow,
inexplicably.
Yeah.
Jeez. And Mr. Leach, what have you been up to other than hanging out with Freddie himself and getting acknowledged on his private IG?
That was awesome. Yeah. I went to LA, did the Critics' Choice Awards, and then not too long after that, went to North Carolina for Mad Monster. Met Freddie and Chucky among many others, and then now I'm getting ready to go to Austin for like 11 days, something like that, for South by Southwest. I might leave a little early. It depends. The last 2 days of the festival are like repeats, so it depends on my energy level and how many more movies I want to sit through. But I'm at least scheduled to be there the entire time. And then, depending on what movies they announce, 2 weeks after that is New Orleans for the Overlook Film Festival.
Overlook. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
okay.
last year. That's where I saw Abigail. I had a good time, but it just depends because a lot of the movies that played there last year were like recycled from South by Southwest. Because a lot of them, Sean was like, "Oh yeah, I didn't see this one. This one played, and like I saw that one. You go see that one. I'll go this one." And since I'm going to South by Southwest, and we'll probably see most of the movies I want to,
Hmm.
gonna have to have like a fucking banger, like 28 years later in Sinners or something like that for me to jump right back into the car and drive 9 hours to Louisiana. But we'll see.
Yeah. Any chance maybe Superman? Anything in the Rumorville that because that's coming out in
No.
June? No,
For
you don't think they'll do
Overlook,
that?
no. Overlook's pretty much all horror. Like last year, the two headliners was Cuckoo, which played at South by Southwest, and Abigail. So this year, I think it's a safe bet they're going to do Sinners because it was filmed in Louisiana. Ryan Coogler was literally at the premiere for
Oh,
Abigail. I got the picture with him. So I would be shocked if that one doesn't come there. 28 years later is a little bit more of a Hail Mary, but that would be pretty fucking awesome. So I'm trying to will it
yeah.
into existence.
That's very early though, because it doesn't come out to what, August or maybe September, I think.
I think it's a little earlier than that. I think it's May, June, maybe something like that.
Oh,
I'll double check, but
yeah.
yeah, I was kind of looking at movies that came out within the next 2 months whenever I started guessing. The other guess is Final Destination 5 or 6, which
Bloodlines.
yeah, I wouldn't be as excited about. I like those movies, but I don't have a ton of faith this one's gonna kick major ass, but we'll see.
Maybe it'll be in 3D.
But that's the
something.
subtitle. Come
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Release date June 20th.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking the fall. Like, I mean, that makes sense for that type of movie, but again,
hmm
who the hell am I? Yeah.
Danielle Harris is short.
Everybody said
picture-
that, but got to keep in mind I'm also tall. So she's short, but I'm also tall, so it accentuates it even more.
Yeah. I mean, have you seen me next to Cody? I look like Frodo and he's Gandalf.
Well, shit. When
Yeah,
I
are
mean,
you 5'8", 5'9"?
yeah.
30?
Like-
Yeah, I'm 5'10" and a half. So
yeah,
I'm between us.
when Charles came to hang out with me, we had like the little out of theater reaction for Scream. It was just the angle I was holding it. He looked fucking small, so everybody was like, "Holy shit, he's like 5 foot," and we're like, we had to take a picture next to each other. He's like, "Motherfucker, I'm this tall."
Next time we meet, I think we need to do that trick photography that Peter Jackson did. So the forced perspective. So I'm at least not too short. We'll figure it out. We'll do that.
Brian's, I think, got everyone beat too. Brian's very tall.
Really?
Ryan Coogler?
Brian Lomax.
Oh, Brian Lomax. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Always wrong, Brian. That one.
Okay. My Snyder bro.
Yes.
My Snyder brother.
My point exactly.
Well, as far as me guys, I haven't posted any reviews. I've seen a lot of movies in January, but there was something wrong with my software. I have Riverside, and anything I was filming, it was coming out glitchy. Like I filmed my Captain America, Brave New, a whole new world, whatever, and it didn't. Yeah, it didn't come out. So I liked it, but I haven't posted any in a while. But other than that, I got a bidet. You guys have a bidet?
I have one.
You have one? Yeah, I was kind of scared at first, but then did
you get that initial jolt with the cold water?
Yeah, but I think because I have a huge ass, they need to have like a power, like the car wash setting,
like a sprinkler.
Yeah, so I'm still working it out.
My shit pushed in, bro, big time.
Had that one in the holster.
Yeah. What do I have?
It fits.
Something is trying to get inside my body.
What the fuck is that?
Moan thing. For those who don't know, I occasionally throw a random moan.
Mm-hmm.
So just be prepared for that. If you're watching with your parents, FYI, there's going to be a moan randomly that pops up every now and then.
If someone looks at the screen and sees our hideous chuds, they'll be fine.
Here it is. Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that might be a little bit.
Yeah, but that's what it's all about, man. That's what I do here. But yeah, other than that, man, the bidet's nice. But other than that, just keeping busy, the root advice stuff. But this is where I have fun. This is where I love creating things. And again, January was a fun month. And let's talk about Captain America real quick. I thought it was okay. Let's start with that. I thought it was okay. Nothing that I would want to revisit. It wasn't as bad as people were making it out to be. You can really tell that it's like there's like 4 different versions of this movie, like The Flash, right? They just reshoot after reshoot, and you can really see it in pieces. It felt like an unofficial Hulk 2.
Yeah.
And that's what the storyline was. And maybe they took a big chunk of that and threw, Captain America in it. So it was okay. It's not horrible. Again, I think this is the first Marvel movie I've seen since Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't as horrible, but I enjoyed it. What did you guys think?
No, I thought it was fine. I had a decent time with it.
That's funny.
I thought that I actually really liked the Incredible Hulk movie, and so I was kind of glad that
Yeah.
it was like a secret sequel to that. But at the same time, it was kind of like, well, that's a stupid decision because you haven't even mentioned these plot lines since 2008. So
Yeah.
it's like anybody that didn't even realize I had to do homework to catch up with it. I like Anthony Mackie a lot in the role. I know that it's a controversial thing with him taking the shield that I never quite understood, but
Yeah, they're following the comic book storyline, so I don't know. Why
yeah.
that's
I think there's one version where Bucky had it. There's one version where him,
Mhm.
but comic books have been around for so long that there's fucking 95 different versions. But to
Variants,
me, in the storyline of the MCU, it made more sense for him to hand it to Sam than somebody who was literally a war criminal for 3 movies, whether
Yeah.
they're best friends or not. So I like that. The action sequences were pretty good towards the end. Like I like the Top Gun style sequence that we got. Hulk fight was all right. Problem
Yeah.
with it is like the whole movie is building up to this crescendo of Red Hulk, and they plastered it all over the trailers. They plastered it all over the posters.
Mhm.
And so it's like you're selling the movie off of 5 minutes and you're ruining any kind of anticipation. Like they don't outright say what's going to happen. There's just something going on with Harrison Ford. It's not till the 3rd act that it becomes like, oh shit, he's going to Hulk out.
Mhm.
And that would have been cooler to have happen like without you expecting it versus the first trailer, like, oh, Red Hulk's coming. Cool.
Yeah, that took a big like shock value. But again, they're gonna sell what they have. Like the biggest moment is in marketing.
Mhm.
The
Didn't
animation
work.
looked good. I mean, I love the facial features of Harrison Ford as the Red Hulk.
No, it looked good.
It
Yeah,
looked great.
cool.
Yeah,
And he was great in it. I thought, I love William Hurt, but for the storyline that they were going for, where really the movie's more about Thunderbolt Ross than it is Captain America. Like Captain
Right.
America doesn't really have an arc in this movie.
No.
And so I thought that the storyline of them trying to like Thunderbolt's trying to mend fences. He's trying to get away from the ruthless military guy and be more a guy of the people. I think Harrison Ford's charm works more for that than maybe William Hurt.
Mhm.
I think he would have done good with it, but I think it was a little easier.
Mhm.
But then it just it felt like a necessary evil where they were like, okay, this movie's never going to be awesome. We're literally salvaging it together. But what they did accomplish was they kind of pulled together some lingering plot threads. So you have like the Incredible Hulk stuff that's finally tied up. You have Thunderbolt Ross stuff from Civil War that's tied up. You have the Celestial thing that finally gets fucking mentioned again, which everybody's been like, giant thing in the ocean, like 5 years ago. We're still not mentioning this. Now that's been addressed. They got adamantium in the world now, so
Yeah.
now that kind of kicks open the door to finally start doing X-Men and shit.
Mhm.
So it feels like one of those movies that it's like, okay, we've done the best we can to like reset the stage. We've drawn all the plot threads together. Now let's look forward to the stuff that wasn't put together in shambles. So hopefully Thunderbolts Onward is much better.
Hopefully, and you forgot to mention the CGI Liv Tyler, right? Because she was definitely CGI'd in that.
I'm
last
sure
scene,
she was
right?
green screen
Behind bars or something like that. You can
Yeah.
just we see. I laughed out loud when that part happened. Like, come on, man. She deserves more grace than that. But yeah, again, Charles, what do you think?
I didn't see it.
I was gonna say, I guarantee.
Oh shit!
There wasn't any Captain America notes in her. Well, I didn't see it. It's
not-
not on.
Yeah, it's not homework that you needed to do. Like we're not spoiling anything that wasn't in the trailer hardly. It's just
What I do know about Hulk is there's that deal with Universal where Marvel can't technically use the Hulk, so they
Yeah.
gotta
he
tiptoe
can't be a
around
main
that.
character.
Yeah.
Only on
Which is
ensemble.
the weird thing because everything in this movie is like the Incredible Hulk 2, but they're like, fuck, we can't use Hulk. Just put Captain America in there. And that was kind of the problem too with it. Like and again, strange how they never really dove into this as a main plot line because Sam doesn't have the super serum. He's just a dude.
I know. Yeah,
And
he's just a
so
regular dude.
they
Yeah.
bring it up in dialogue like once or twice where he's like, man, I wish I would have taken that serum. Like that would have been an interesting arc for him to figure out, like, do I need the serum or am I enough without it? And then you get to the Hulk and it's like, fuck, no, I need it. I'm not enough without it. And so that's the thing too. You have the third act where it's like, of all the people that we have in the Avengers roster right now, like he's the least exciting to fight the Hulk because if we're actually going to have stakes, he'd be dead in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So
And I didn't buy the Wakanda armor, the vibranium. I mean, I get it, but against
overdone-
the Hulk,
they've overdone the Iron Man thing. Even with Spider-Man, he had to have special armor and stuff. And it's like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Like, the one line that I did think was awesome, though, they got a great laugh out of me is, like I said, they bring it up a couple of times. Like, I don't know, maybe I should take the serum. And then he has that scene with Bucky where Bucky's like, no, man, like, you're good. You don't need it. And then he goes to fight Hulk and he's like, Bucky was full of shit. I should have took that serum. I was like, yeah, it was good.
That was funny. And again, I think my viral Hulk video that I made a couple years ago, The Incredible Hulk is one of my favorite MCU movies because, again, they were really paying homage to the original 70s show that I grew up with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno. The tone, I love how he's treated like a beast.
Yeah.
And there's fear involved, and he's actually like the Hulk. I think if we had that Hulk against Thanos, that Thanos wouldn't have kicked his ass like in 20 seconds. But that's the Hulk I think everybody misses. And who knows if we're ever going to see that again? I don't know. I saw that there was some leaked concept art that was from Doomsday.
Mhm.
And one of the concept art that was leaked was a village of Hulk people. Like Hulk is married to She-Hulk now, and they have a Hulk son. I didn't know this.
They're cousins.
Are they?
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see She-Hulk, but again, I just saw that they had a younger Hulk with them.
Maybe
How do
she's
you have a
just there.
son?
If they're married, then man, they're going bold swings.
Who can he
For all that
impregnate,
Alabama
carry
audience.
that seed to have a whole kid?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know.
Anyway, so I thought it was okay.
I didn't watch She-Hulk either. His kid shows up in that show. I watched the first episode with Sean, and it was like a let's see how long Cody can last kind of challenge. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not clicking play on episode 2.
And
Gotta get Sean fired up for that.
yeah. And get this.
Sternly.
Yeah. Hello, shout out to Sean.
I'm kidding. I'm
The
I know,
incredible
I know.
wrong turn.
no, I'm telling them, not you.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
that's an
follow us,
inside joke from the wrong turn discussion.
Yes. Yes.
What was I going to say? And speaking of my hatred toward Disney, I actually subscribed to them because I want to see Daredevil. So I know it comes out tomorrow, and I love what Netflix did. Again, to this day, I call it one of the best comic book show ever, in my opinion. I love the tone. It was really graphic, just like the comic book that I grew up in the late 80s with. So I'm looking forward. I've heard word of mouth has been great for the show. So I've actually have hope for a Disney product.
Are
The
they dumping
first
it
time
all
in a
at
long
once?
time.
No, they're doing the first 2 episodes, and then it's week by week.
Yeah.
I can't say a lot because I'm under embargo, but they have done like social reactions. I've seen the first 6 episodes.
You what? Really? Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to finish the rest of it tonight. It's one of the reasons why I was kind of tight on time because the review will come out tomorrow. It's good. Like tone wise,
Yeah.
it's not quite as dark and gritty, but it's the darkest, most gritty thing that they've done in Disney. In the MCU, like there's
Okay.
F-bombs, there's blood, there's a serial killer plot line and stuff. So it's definitely like a really nice compromise. The only thing that I'll say that's been my concern so far is that the one big fight scene that we have is a lot of digital in it. It's not as practical as the Netflix stuff, which is a big bummer. But story-wise, character-wise, tone-wise, it's like, okay, cool. We're picking up right where we left off. So I like it so far.
Okay. Now you know me. Do you think I'll like it?
Yes. I don't think you're going to be like gushing about it for the same reasons I just said, but I think you'll like it.
I'll have that please, but not 100% please.
I mean, just for the fight scene thing alone, it's like that was kind of the big thing with Netflix Daredevil, where like those are the big scenes I remember, like Hulk or not Hulk, Punisher just fucking those dudes up in the hallway in the prison and stuff. And I haven't seen anything in the first 6 episodes that comes close to any of that.
Yeah.
The one big sequence we've had that's kind of going for the one shot thing they try to do. There was a lot of digital, and I was like, oh,
yeah, like the hallway scene. I think that's episode 2 in the original series, and then
there's one every single
staircase
season.
in the hospital. Yeah,
yeah.
And I just like, oh, dude, I love it because again, you can see this is a real stunt team, a lot of planning. It's obviously not him. You know, they kind of switch off when he goes in rooms, but it's done beautifully.
Mhm.
And that oneer is one of my favorites. That hallway fight scene. I was like, oh.
Mhm.
Anyway, hold on, super chat. Hey, what's up? Hey, Rudy. I'm nice, right? But the girl scream on your soundboard is scary as hell. Last time your parents are outside. Oh yeah, just tell your mom and dad that it's just Rudy messing around. You're not watching anything nasty, okay?
Well, I mean,
well, whatever, But yeah, so again, that actually makes me happy because March is my birthday month. I turn 48. I turned 48 in a couple weeks. So again, I'm pleased to see that there's a Daredevil product out there that I'm going to be happy about. So I'm happy about that. Now, the other movie I saw in January was Wolfman, and I know I kind of trolled on your live that I liked Wolfman more than Abigail. And for those, just to be clear, Abigail's okay, but it doesn't suck. I'm only doing that to get under his skin, and it was part of the whole gimmick where he kills me at the end of my 31 on 31 movie. You know, CP and this guy get together.
Sucks, doesn't it, when you have a joke with someone and the two people that are most important get it, but the people watching are like, man, I don't like this.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, not my favorite movie, but it was good. But I did love Wolfman. And the reason I loved it is because I love the original movie. I forget the character's name and all that,
From
but I remember
40s, the 30s.
Yeah, it's great, man, because it's a tragedy. The guy's a really nice guy. He's fun loving. He's going to go see his dad about getting some his will or something so he can take over some house. And he's a fun guy. He's a loving guy, but he gets cursed with this wolf disease, whatever, and he dies tragically at the end. So you actually feel sorry for him at the end of the original Wolfman movie. And again, the effects are outdated, but again, they did this almost 100 years ago. But I love the I guess the tragedy of that original movie. And this film, again, kind of same thing. I felt like it was a tragedy at the end where you have a father who loves his daughter. He's got a great, yeah, he's got a relationship with his daughter. You know, he's going through divorce, I think I recall. And it's sad that he got infected. He wasn't a horrible guy. He was just infected with this sort of rural mountain disease, whatever it was supposed to be. But it still had the tragedy element, and it lingered with me. I'm like, okay, I like this movie. I didn't hate it, but
I mean, they had the tragedy part of it. I just didn't think that the script and the characters and anything was very good. Like it just, it never really felt like it was building to anything. They were setting up all these things about like generational rage and fatherhood and everything in the beginning. Never really brought that back effectively by the end of it. And his wife, I like that actress, but just the character just dull as nuts. And like even the body horror and the gore and stuff, like there's a couple of cool shots like with the nails coming out and stuff, but even that kind of felt half cooked. And so yeah, it just really, like, I walked into it expecting to like it more than everybody else because I was really looking forward to it. Heard some mixed and bad things about it, and I was like, okay, well, let me lower my expectations and walk in. I'm sure I'll be the guy going, oh, it's not as bad as everybody else makes it out to be. And I walked out going, ooh, okay. Who actually directed and wrote this? Because it was not Leigh Whannell.
The fact that they pushed it off of October says a lot.
Well, that never concerned me because Invisible Man came out in February, if I'm not mistaken. We had Megan, which is not like my favorite, but I liked it. I think it was a January film. So Blumhouse has kind of done that, where they look at that January, February gap where there's usually not a lot out, and they're like, if we do a hit here, then it stays in theaters because people only want to see the good movie that's out. And so I was never that worried about January, but then, yeah, whenever you watch it, you're like, oh, damn. Okay.
Hey, isn't this a guy from Saw?
Oh.
Yeah. He's the co-writer of Saw and Insidious and directed The Invisible Man, Insidious 3, Upgrade. He's James Wan's like right-hand man. And then he started doing his own stuff. And
we can see the pictures too, Cody.
Thank you. Jesus.
And you see this
to get a word in. Well, he directed it. It says Wolfman, Leigh Whannell.
Oh no, he did. I'm just saying for everything else I've seen him do, this does not have the strengths that his work typically has, and it has a lot of weaknesses that none of his other work has. Like as a writer, I expect a lot from a Leigh Whannell film, and I didn't really get much of any of it here. And even as a director, like aside from the camera movements in the scene with like the shifted perspective, like during the car, I did like that and stuff, like that's kind of a signature of him. Other than that, it was just very bland, and I was just like, dude, like this guy is anything but bland when he does stuff. It doesn't compute for me.
It randomly happens.
Trying to get Marcy.
Yeah.
Trying to get grounded.
What I did love was the perspective when it would go when they're trying to talk to him and he's infected. It goes from the audible, like what we'd hear, but then it goes and transitions to what he hears and what he sees. I did like that. Cool. And then when he went outside, he can see the forest for what it was, like the predator, but like an animal. But I enjoyed it. It's my favorite of January. And I love that it kept intact.
Companion?
That's not saying anything.
I did see Companion. I liked it. We just saw it last night, as a matter of fact.
Wow, and you like Wolfman more, huh?
You know what? I didn't know it came out in January.
Isn't Companion a February movie?
No.
I thought it came out right around Valentine's Day.
I thought it did
No.
too. The marketing was kind of a date.
It was January.
Okay, well,
Because
in that case,
yeah, I even made the point in the video about how it's a shame that it's not there wasn't room in Valentine's Day because we had Hard Eyes and some other ones come out, so they had it in late January.
I did enjoy Companion. The wife and I saw it last night. We rented it, and it was really good. I didn't see the what was her name? Shut Off, and then she just shuts off. Like, whoa, okay, I didn't expect that whole twist and all that, but it was pretty cool. It's basically just like a narcissist wanting to control a robot, and then the robot becomes self-aware, and then he can control the robot. So I thought that was a really nice, that's basically in the grounded reality. It's a narcissist wanting to control somebody, but then it's a robot and it's self-aware and it fights back, so he can't control the robot. So hey, I like that. That's a nice little thing.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah. Again, Marcy, thank you so much. My hopes for Daredevil is that they can carry on being good like the previous series while also move on. And even though it's not a big thing, I hope they bring back Matt's mom eventually to continue. Was Matt's mom in the original series? I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it's been years since I've watched them.
Yeah, but yeah, the original series I definitely love. I don't remember his mother. I remember Stick coming back. I don't remember his mom. But yeah, we'll see. I still don't trust Disney. And again, I'm happy to hear that I'm going to enjoy this. So that gives me hope. So I'll see what they do. But the last thing I want him doing is singing karaoke with She-Hulk or doing something stupid.
Nothing like that.
Okay.
Nothing like that so far. I mean, granted, I had 3 episodes left. Maybe they'll surprise me, but no, it's nothing like that. I mean, like if it continues on with what I've seen for the first 6 episodes, it's very easily the best Disney Plus show that I've seen for the Marvel stuff.
And that's not a lot. You've been critical of the whole series.
Yeah, that's not a high bar. I haven't really given a thumbs up to any of their shows. There's a number of them I haven't seen, but they're also the ones that everybody also says are pretty terrible. But yeah, I think it's the best thing they've done so far. I just think that there's potential that some people will be disappointed that it's not exactly like the Netflix show. It's a lot like it, but it's definitely kind of doing its own thing at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's well regarded by a lot of people, and it set the bar. Like I said, I think it's the best comic book show ever. And again, that's a heavy standard to kind of keep up, especially with Disney and the rules. But again, I hear they actually had the series in production already, and then they kind of scrapped everything. And they said they weren't going to do that. They're going to go ahead and go back to square one, which is good.
Yeah, because essentially what they were trying to do was they were trying to do a completely rebooted show, but have the same cast, have Charlie Cox and have Vincent D'Onofrio come back. And so it was like this really scummy thing where it's like you're trying to bank off of fan trust while at the same time you're not continuing the story or these characters. You're doing your own thing with it. And so, yeah, once there was leadership changes, and I think Kevin Feige got a little bit more into it, he was like, okay, no. And then especially, I don't think that the public outcry helped either, because the more we heard about it, we're like, you're doing what? That's not what the fuck we asked for. And so then, yeah, they went back to square one, and they're like, okay, it's basically Daredevil season 4.
Yeah. And that makes me happy. Oh, get another super chat. Again, Marcy, thanks so much. Really, I just went through 76 stages of Panic quickly. My apologies, but again, you know to expect that random moan. It does come from time to time. I don't know when, but
Excuse me while I whip this out.
so you guys are more than welcome to add something to the soundboard if you want. CP, what do you have on your soundboard?
Do me a favor and hold that up so I can see your cock.
You're my #1 customer.
That man, you got me lightheaded. I laughed so hard I almost fainted. God, I'm not lying. Holy shit.
You need to make a soundbite out of that. My mom had me young.
I definitely need to do that. Yeah. Oh, another super chat. Thank you so much. Cody, did you see the Jason Goes to Hell 4K and Jason X 4Ks from Arrow? They dropped on my birthday in May. Already pre-ordered my copies, dude.
Already pre-ordered my copies, dude.
Don't you hate Jason? Oh, that's Freddy Goes to Hell, right?
Freddy's dead.
Yeah,
Jason
Freddy's dead.
Hell,
Yeah.
I have fun with. It doesn't have any business calling itself a Friday the 13th movie, but I have some fun with that one. Jason X, I've always liked. It's a big guilty pleasure. But I just like the fact that Arrow, like they had that badass Friday the 13th remake set, and this one is in the same artwork. So if nothing else, just the collector horror in me is like, okay, let me get the trifecta together here.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Carpenter, for the super chat.
Keep going and just do a Freddy vs. Jason one. Like,
Mhm.
you get all the new lines done.
You know, I have to admit something. I've never seen Jason X. Even
You
when he
don't need
came
to.
out. I know.
It's not
like,
a movie
it's
that
on.
it requires a little nostalgia. It's not a movie that I would I wouldn't bet a penny that you would watch it today and get anything out of it. It's got
No.
some great kills. I think Jason looks badass in it. I think it's the best that Kane Hodder does as far as his 4 movies. I don't know if that's controversial or not.
No.
But it's very early 2000s, like intentionally B movie cheap kind of like bad early 2000s CGI and corny dialogue and characters. But I saw it when I was like 11 and had a great time with it. And
it was the greatest thing ever at 11, right?
not the greatest thing ever. I've still never like seen a Jason movie aside from 4 and the remake that I've loved. But I have fun with Jason X. It's not a regular watch, but when I'm in the mood for a Jason movie, that's in the top half of the stack that I'd pick from.
Oh shit, I forgot. Anytime you send me a super chat, I got to give you this soundbite. So
What was this?
You're
6.
pretty good.
Huh?
You said
You're
4 in the
pretty good.
remake.
That's from Marcy and Jason.
You
I like
forgot-
6, but I only
You're
love
pretty
4 in the
good.
remake.
Well, it couldn't be worse than the Hellraiser movies that I watched the first time I was with the Autop stream.
Yeah, we
that
all
was,
had to
that
do
was
that.
hell.
That was atrocious. Yeah.
That was hell, man.
Rudy it gets a little bit of a pass, but I gave these other fuckers plenty of warning because it was
Yeah.
2020 and things were dark and there was nothing coming out, and I just started knocking out all the bullshit. I was like, Hellraiser review series, Leprechaun review series, Wrong Turn review series, and I was dropping hints. I was like, get ready. And they didn't take me seriously.
Oh,
And I was
man.
like, guess what? This year, October.
And I walk in
I only
thinking
got to
this was
watch
normal.
one film.
And I walk in thinking this is normal. Hey, this is great. Okay, fine. I'll watch this.
Yeah, you joined right. It's like what's the Deadpool over? You're joining at kind of a low point.
Yeah. And speaking of the next one coming up in May, I was talking to CP in one of his lives that there's not a bad movie in this list.
No.
It's impossible to rank.
No, you're going to piss somebody off with the 31. They're going to be like, how could you put this at 31? It's like,
There's
dude,
not
they're
a
all
bad movie in
4-star
that,
movies.
man. There's not one bad movie. It's impossible to rank. I've been trying to for a month. I can't decide.
Yeah.
Goodfellas or Godfather. I mean, who can decide that?
Goodfellas, easy.
No. That's all I had to say. For me,
I'll have an
it's
easier
hard.
time with this list than it sounds like you guys will, but there's going to be a number of first time watches, so that's the interesting part for me.
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen Sicario 2,
Mm-mm.
so I don't
That'll be in the
expect that
bottom
one-
half.
Yeah, I don't expect that one's going to be super high. I never heard a lot about that one.
Copland is one of Stallone's best performances.
Sean.
Oh yeah,
That's one of his
Copland's
best. man.
amazing. Copland is amazing. That was
you
one
have
I
the
was
soundbite?
I was really glad that made through our little poll because I love that
Yeah.
movie.
Where's the and you blew it soundbite? I know one of you have that.
Yeah. Oh, right here.
And you blew it!
There you go. I love that movie, dude.
Yeah, me
The
too.
cast, man, it's probably like next to The Outsiders, one of my favorite films that's been casted. Everybody, in
Rudy, I
that
think
film.
you and I are going to be the only ones that are going to save the Warriors.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
God, the
War-
Warriors. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I know Brian's going to be a little bitch about it, and I know Charles is probably going to watch it and be like, "I remember this being better." And
I was
Sean-
6 when I last
yeah,
saw it. What do you want
I don't
from
know
me?
if Sean's ever seen it or not. I've never talked with him about the
No,
Warriors. but
He's
that-
he's near my age, so he has to have seen it. He has
Don't
to.
bet on it. Don't bet on it. But yeah,
Come on, a young James Remore wanting to
Mhm.
go find some strange wool. Come on, you can't. It's in my top 10. I'm
Oh, yeah.
okay. I'm disclosing that Warriors is probably going to be in my top 10.
it'll be in mine too, probably.
It's a shame Guy Ritchie didn't direct it. Otherwise, it'd be pretty high.
Yeah,
Guy Ritchie. Can you imagine that? Oh God. No, but I just saw it recently. My wife had never seen it before. I'm like, you're gonna like this, and she started watching. She loved the costumes, of course. With the baseball team guys, she liked the colors and everything like
Yeah.
that. It was like really cool.
my first time watching that movie was really funny because they had the PlayStation 2 game come out from Rockstar.
Oh, yeah.
And I never played it.
And I
never
was
played it.
like, that looks cool. And my dad was like, oh, the Warriors. And we watched the trailer. And I remember my dad fucking died laughing because the trailer is basically like the opening of the movie. And so they, it's showing all these things. He's like, man, they made it just like the movie. He goes, can you dig it? And then all of a sudden, like 5 seconds later, it shows, can you dig it? And my dad dies laughing. And so I was so excited to play the game. We rented it, and my parents were off doing something, and it was just me and my brother in the house. And I'm not bullshitting. We played that fucking game all night long, beat it in one sitting. I'm talking like 12 hours straight. I remember he was little, so I remember specifically the spots where you have to like tap the A button to get away from the van that's chasing you, and
Mm-hmm.
he kept fucking dying. I was like, fuck it, give it to me. And I just and I had both the controllers. And they didn't even, I don't think James Remar even did the voice acting for it, but there was something about even the PS2 shitty graphic. I was like, that looks like James Remar. And so then right around that time, they dropped the DVD or the Blu-ray of like the Walter Hill director's cut, where he puts like some of the comic book cells. And that was the first time I watched it, was after I played the game. So the half the game is like a prequel to the movie, and the second half is the movie.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting way to watch it, but it's been one of my favorites ever since.
Yeah, it was a classic growing up. As a kid, my sister told me she saw it at the movies, but again, growing up, we didn't have it on VHS, right? So you only saw it when it came on HBO or Showtime. And that movie, dude, my God, it became like a cult classic. Everyone's like wanted to join a gang and create their own gang, dress up in their own thing,
Dress up like a clown and beat people up.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know this. I've seen the director's cut and the commentary and all that. But David Patrick Kelly, the whole Warriors come out and play. Walter Hill told him, like, look, we just got a minute or so of do whatever you want. Just do whatever you want. And he didn't know what to do. So he said there were all these bottles underneath the bleachers or like in the sand. So he just got a couple and just started doing this because he had a neighbor who would terrorize him. Like through the walls, the neighbor would knock on his door, this like low rent apartment, and like they'd be like, David, come out and play. So it was inspired by a neighbor who terrorized him in real life.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Again, David Patrick Kelly's the man. I love that dude. The
You've
Crow,
seen-
everything.
Oh yeah, you've seen John Wick 4, right?
Yeah.
Did you get as hard as I did in that
Yes.
third act? Whatever that.
Don't
Yeah,
worry,
it was so funny because when they had the little DJ thing, and it was the way that they framed her lips.
Oh,
her
just like the
microphone's right
original.
here. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a lot like the Warriors. And then she said, like, she didn't say like, hey, boppers, but she said something kind of like it. I was like, okay, that's kind of cute. And then she puts on the record, and I was like, no. And all of a sudden, nowhere to run. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I'm in the theater, and people are like, what the fuck? And I'm like, this is the greatest thing ever.
I know. I was like the same way. I was telling my wife, "Oh, the Warriors! You haven't seen it? Fuck! Like,
Yeah.
it's awesome."
You don't appreciate how awesome this is.
Oh, another super chat. Here we go. Oh, okay. It's CP. I saw Amelia Perez. Yes, it is garbage. 19 months on Team Rudy. Thank you so much. It's been fun. Team Rude advice on both channels. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate all your support, Sean. Really, thank you.
You're pretty good.
You really are, dude. Amelia Perez.
Garbage. Yeah.
I've never seen it. I know of it. I know the concept of the movie.
Hey,
From penis to vagina.
greatest song in history.
Hell yeah. Was that nominated for an Oscar?
It was nominated.
It was
for,
nominated
like,
for 13.
Oh, that specific song was.
Oh, no. Sorry.
Best
I know it
original
did
score.
win best song. It wasn't
Ever.
that song, but they won
Best song and best
supporting.
actress.
Now, I guess that's a good
Supporting
segue.
actress. Yeah, sorry.
That is a good segue to the actual Oscars. Now, I want to be clear. I've only seen 2 of the movies that are on this list of the top 10. Excuse me, the best picture nominees.
I
saw Substance and Anora.
I saw Anora, Dune Part 2, The Substance, and Wicked. A lot of the movies that I focused on at the end of the year in my little like for your consideration screener app didn't end up becoming like the best picture front runners. And then by the time I was just so fucking burnt out and tired, and I was like, oh my God, like The Brutalist is 4 hours long. Conclave's about Catholicism. Amelia Perez, everybody's shitting on. I'm like, I don't have the strength to watch through these movies.
Yeah.
So I did a terrible job this year. I've been trying, like last year I watched all of them. I think the last year before that I did. This year I tapped out at a certain point. So I'm gonna have to speak on certain amount of ignorance as well.
Okay. Now, I stand corrected. I did see Dune Part 2, which I loved. I love those movies. I mean, cinematography, everything is fantastic. Now, Anora, let's talk about Anora real quick. Because every now and then I'll message the group chat and say, hey, we want to rent a movie. What do you guys suggest? And usually whatever Cody recommends to me, I love it. I'm like, yeah, let's go ahead and watch it. Right?
Shit. Usually whatever I say, it becomes a running gag for the next 3 months, like fucking movie bullshit ass.
Whatever. But again, he
Hey, they're
recommended The
Delilah
Substance.
bullshit.
You did recommend The Substance, and you did say it was going to be my favorite. And yes, it was my favorite last year. And Anora, there are elements that would otherwise make me love it. I'm trying to be modest here. There are some things about the film that I would love. Yeah, great first act. I loved it. It's set up beautifully. But again, I went into it. Now, I didn't know this was a comedy, a dark comedy.
Neither
I
did
thought this was a drama. So I went in expecting a drama, and I will say that Mickey Madison, she deserved the Oscar because again, the way she played this character was annoying as hell. It got on my nerves, but again, that's her acting. If an actor gets under your skin and you hate them or it angers you or whatever the case is, that means they're doing a good job. So again, I think she played that role wonderfully. I was rooting for Demi, but again, I give her total kudos for winning Best Actress because that was a great role. But the movie, I'll be honest, I found it annoying, dude. And it was like watching Uncut Gems. In my opinion, you know, that anxiety that you're on Uncut Gems, where you're just like, everyone's making fucking stupid decisions. Let me, what the hell? Like, it got on my nerves. And I knew this kid, when he married her and all that other stuff. And I knew they were just making a bunch of dumb choices and it wasn't going to last. And it got on my nerves because it was a bunch of poor choices by these characters. But again, her performance was great. I just don't see it. Maybe I'm missing something. I need to watch it again because I did buy it to rent it. I couldn't rent it. I had to buy it. Maybe I need to see it again in a different mindset, but my wife and I, we just hated it, dude. We just wanted it over with. We're annoyed at her screaming, the bodyguard sequences. I know. And again, we found out later, it was like a dark comedy. I'm like, oh, so maybe we just went in with the wrong lens or something. I don't know, but I just found it annoying as hell. But I am happy for Sean Baker, right?
Yeah.
I am happy. I liked his speech when he won Best Director, when he said, support, independent movies and all that. I do applaud that and I champion that. So kudos to him and, all his victories. But again, just for me, this film, I just found it incredibly annoying to watch, man. That was just my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, every movie, especially Best Picture nominees, aren't for everybody. I think part of it, you had said something like ADHD wise, the flow of the movie just bugged you. So that might have been a big part of it. Going into it with the wrong expectations, possibly, but I had the same expectation. I saw it in the best context possible. I saw it at Fantastic Fest, packed theater, and especially when you're seeing a comedy and it's hitting, it makes it all the more better because everybody's just rolling the entire time. So it's infectious. So that might have been a difference too.
Oh, major difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I was watching my wife and we were just like, what the fuck are you doing now? What? That's
Yeah.
not our house. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. And once you guys start to go down that path, especially if you're feeding each other, like, what the fuck is this? Like, you just continue kind of hating on it. But I don't know. I loved it. I wasn't expecting much from it. It was one of those kind of weird Fantastic Fest picks where I was like, why is this here? Okay, I guess I'll watch it. All I knew about it was Cinderella story for sex workers. And so I was like, it sounds interesting, I guess. And so we sit down to watch it. And I always tell the joke, like, for the first 40 minutes, I'm sitting next to Sean and I'm like, sorry. Because like I picked it. And he's just sitting there like, whoa, they're just fucking and fucking and fucking.
Yeah.
And then you get to a point where the goons show up in like the 45 minutes in, and the dude takes off, and all of a sudden the movie's tone just shifts on a dime.
Yeah.
And from then on, like, I enjoyed the first act, obviously, but after that, it was just like, holy shit, this movie's actually really fucking funny. And it was like surprising how funny it kept getting. Loved her performance. And by the end of it, like, the way that they end it was like one of the more powerful endings for me, where I was just like, like it really stuck with me and made me try to think over and over, like, what are they meaning by that? There's like, I've seen some people interpret it as like a big statement on how the sex worker industry will destroy you. I've seen other people on like, I tend to think it's more of a thing where the movie sets up, we all have our preconceived opinions about strippers or whatever. And so you set up the situation where it seems like she's going to take advantage of this situation with this rich, ignorant kid so that she can get the high life. And so you automatically think he's ignorant, but he's going to get taken advantage of by her. And she's only in it for the glam, the lifestyle, the rich and the famous. And throughout the movie, she's on this journey with these people trying to get back to him. And you all the while keep thinking like, oh, this is just her trying to secure her future financially. Like, she doesn't want to give this up. And you get to the end of the movie, and when you get to the plane, spoiler alert, I guess, for Anora.
I get spoilers, yeah.
But you get to the part with the plane where he basically reaffirms everything his parents are saying, like he wants the annulment, and the way that she reacts to it all the way up to the end. And it's like, wow, okay, this whole time I'm sitting here thinking she's trying to use him. She's the one who doesn't give a shit. He might actually care. And it's been the opposite the entire time. And, they had the little scene in the car, and then she breaks down crying and the movie ends. And for me, that's like her just like literally being shattered.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I actually believed in this. I invested in this. I bought into the love, and now I don't even know if I can even accept genuine affection.
Mhm.
And so just the whole thing was just like, oh fuck, where'd that come from? I've been laughing my ass off for the last 90 minutes. And so I just loved it. It was just such a different experience for me.
Mhm.
And as far as her winning Best Actress, it was a very it was a very double-edged sword no matter who won. Because for me, it was like one of the tightest races where it's like, I mean, for me, it was like 51-49. I would have
Mhm.
preferred Demi win it just because the story was better. You know, the her having this lifelong career, what the role represents for her, the actual story of and theme of the movie literally coming to fruition, and then ironically, even more so with the fact that she loses to
Well,
the young
younger woman.
the young girl who's
Yeah.
just starting her career. And so I would have preferred Demi won, but I can't be mad that Mikey won. Like
Yeah.
it was just such a tight race where I was like, I could give the I would tie it if that was even a acceptable thing. But yeah, I loved Anora. As far as Best Picture, if I had to give my vote, I mean, The Substance and Anora were my two favorites on that list, but Anora, I would have given the vote for Best Picture. So I was happy with it.
You,
It,
Charles?
it looks like Demi Moore was expecting to win it too. Like if you watch with the
Well,
little
she
windows.
killed all award season. So
Yeah.
Yeah, she like when they announced Mikey Madison won, like if you just look at Demi Moore's face, there's this smile, but like this vacant, okay, this isn't happening. It all happens within 2 seconds, but it's
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
crummy.
Yeah. I was really, it would have been a great, end to her book. Like she's said before, like she's been acting her entire life and she's never been rewarded or recognized at this level. So I think it would have been a perfect like completion end of the road for Demi Moore. Granted, she's still working, but I think that would have been beautiful for her to get it.
For sure.
But again, so I was really disappointed with that. But again, looking at the performances, which is these are the only two that I've seen in this category, I'm like, yeah, I can see her winning. I mean, because again, just I really was annoyed by her, but again, that's all because of the performance, and I was believing what she was saying and all that other stuff. So,
and there's a lot. I mean, she goes for it. I mean, of course, people. I've been really frustrated today because like it happens every single year where film Twitter loves a movie and then it wins Best Picture, and all of a sudden it becomes the worst piece of shit that's ever come out. And I saw a lot of those reactions this morning where like there was actually accounts that was like taking the clip of her stripping for him. There's no dialogue. It's just her shaking her ass and him sitting on the couch doing this. And they're like, yeah, best screenplay and best actress. And it's like, you took the one scene in the fucking movie where there's nothing happening but her stripping. Of course, it doesn't look like a whole lot's going on. And so I got really frustrated with stuff like that, where it's like, you're really going to reduce down the screenplay of this movie and her entire performance to this one out of context clip with no dialogue, where she goes for it as far as like what she's able to literally bear and learning all the dance moves and stuff like that, which I can only imagine it's not as easy as it looks for the pros. And then you have all of the comedy and all of the hijinks, and then you have all the super gut-wrenching emotional stuff. Like, it's a really well-rounded performance. Is it as bold and shocking to see that as it is to see Demi Moore what she did? Not quite. But I also think maybe what hurt Demi Moore a little bit was that she really kind of is a co-lead in that movie with Margaret Qualley, even though that she was always dubbed as the supporting actress. That movie, by design, is split between those two, where Mikey Madison is the focus for the entire runtime. So I don't know if that played into it as well.
There could also be something, because I've heard just from our conversations and just in the past that the Academy has something against horror movies. Like whenever, like Toni Collette, I still think she should have won a Best Actress for the
She didn't get nominated.
I know. She should have. I mean, I was like, that's a great robbery. But again,
and Nosferatu didn't win a single award, not even cinematography or set design or anything like that, which is crazy. So yeah, even like years like this year where it was like, oh my God, we're actually getting recognized. You get The Substance with all these nominations. You got Nosferatu with all these nominations, but then it still walks away with no wins for Nosferatu, and I think only one win. One win for The Substance. And so it still kind of feels like the nomination was throwing us a bone, and beyond that, you don't quite belong yet. And it is very frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to be doing a video soon. It was a Patreon pick where like 10 horror movies that should have won an Oscar. And so now I'm glad I didn't do it already, because now The Substance and Nosferatu will have to be included on that list probably. But it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, there are some genuinely amazing horror films that have been out there that never got the recognition that are just as good, if not better, than movies like the ones included here. And it's just very weird. Like horror movies, as well as like rock and metal, like forever are always like the redheaded stepchild. They're always like treated like this weird niche thing.
Mhm.
And it's like, bitch, during 2020 and 2021, horror is what kept the theaters alive, not your fucking Marvel movies, none of that other shit. Like horror fans kept going out in droves. Over the last 3 years, you have stories like Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3, and all these other movies where it's like horror fans are these huge, gigantic, financial success stories, while all the other blockbusters are eating shit all year long. And so it's just a very, very, very strange thing that we're still in this spot where it feels like the outsiders and, all these other genres are somehow above it. And it's just like, come on, we're beyond this.
Did you guys want to touch on any other category? Because I didn't see the Brutal
Sure.
list. I didn't see any of the. I have no context for anything else. Well, what do you think about Adrian Brody's speech? Do you think it came off like very smug and arrogant? Because I know he's getting some flack for
I
telling
think
the.
I mean, I didn't listen to his entire speech, but I think the entire notion of telling the band to stop playing because I'm not done talking yet.
Yeah, I've won two before, so I've won before. I know what I'm doing.
Well, I mean, it's just the whole thing is like they do that for a reason. They do that because they have a lot of people to get to. And so essentially he was saying what I have to say is more important than everybody else who also followed the rules. And there was literally other people that won an award that didn't even get a chance to fucking speak because the music came on and they got rushed off the stage. But he got like 6 minutes. I think he literally broke the record for longest Oscar acceptance speech of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was he emotional and just in the moment? Sure. I'm not going to like hate on the guy for it. But at the same time, it's like if I was somebody else that won that night and I didn't get to say anything because Adrian Brody took up the screen time, I'd be pissed.
Mm-hmm. Seeing it live, I was in my living room just kind of putting a table together, and then hearing him say it, I went, ugh. That was my immediate reaction. Just the way, the tone of it, the way he delivered it, it came off very smug and arrogant. I don't know the guy. I mean, he's talented, sure, but I don't think I've ever heard a speech like that, or somebody saying like, hey, give me more time. I don't care. I won one before. I know what I'm doing. I'm like, that sounded very arrogant, and just, it didn't land well in my ears when I first heard it.
You should have had Halle Berry on standby so he could have just kissed her and then left.
Well, she kissed him on the red carpet. Did you see that?
I did see that. Yeah.
There was a clip where she walked up. She like Adrian Brody's standing there with his girlfriend, and Halle Berry just ambushed him. She's like, "Sorry, I have to," and then just lays one on him. It's like revenge. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Makes me think I should have
Revenge.
Dressed as Adrian Brody when I saw her at Fantastic Fest.
Oh, I think I missed some chat here real quick. Let's see. Here we go. Just wanted to say thank you guys for getting me through 2020. Marriage advice. Okay, cool. Laughs. And all you guys are great. What's your dream video game you guys want in the future? Ooh.
I've always wanted to have a really badass video game where you get to plan and execute heists like Heat or, something like Splinter Cell, where, you come in, you can disable the security systems and go into different rooms and try to steal as much as you can. Like, I've always had an idea of something like that. There was a level in, I think, this third Splinter Cell game where you're literally having to break into a bank, but it's for some other reason. And I was like, this is a fucking game right here. Like, do a whole game of this, where you get to break in and have all these all the technology you see in heist films and make a game out of that.
Like Ocean's 11?
Something where you have,
It's like
camera
GTA Online.
scramblers and, something to make the lasers go or whatever, and make like 3 or 4 like big heists out of that, kind of like Hitman, where it's a sandbox and you can go about the heist 100 different ways, but make it like this big,
GTA Online does something like that, don't they?
Maybe I've never played.
I never played it.
Yeah.
Bitches leave.
Usually people bring up GTA 5 when I say that, but like that's a step to what I'm talking
Well,
about.
the online you could do like co-op, which I thought was an appealing nature to it, where like
that's a
all
step.
three of us can be on the same.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a step towards what I'm talking about, but more in the style of like Splinter Cell, where it's about
Splinter Cell was
stealth.
great. Yeah. You want to go next, Stevie? Your dream video game, and what do you want to see in the future?
I'm kind of simple. I'd like to have a video game do the same thing that whatever emotion I felt during the first Resident Evil, just something that feels like a scary
Survival horror.
Yeah,
right?
something that you just are, not oddly enough, I don't want too much action. I want like the tone. I want to feel the vibe. And for some reason, when I first played that first Resident Evil, however many years ago, like that was a game that like I wish I can go re-experience it the way I did then.
I know. I feel you, man. There's nothing that comes close. And again, Cody, we've all had this conversation before, but Resident Evil 4 is probably the best video game I've ever played. Dopamine wise, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love it, but it's not survival horror. It's not the tone that CP's talking about, where you're terrified to play the damn game and limited ammo. You don't see what's around the corner. You hear things, your imagination goes crazy. Nothing has ever come close to that. That's why I think I've had RE1 in my top rankings as the top game. It's just the atmosphere and what it just. You had never played a game like that,
right?
Ever.
Dude,
that
like
made you
in the
feel
beginning
scared.
where you go on the right side of the mansion and the dog jumps through the window.
Yeah,
that is scary. Like
Resident Evil 7 in VR was the time that I had that type of experience.
I would
where,
have a brain aneurysm if I tried to play that game.
dude, I have never. I'm not somebody who gets scared, even with video game. Like you can startle me, obviously, you can make me a little tense, but I have never been genuinely fucking terrified. Aside from when I played that game, just like think about the opening chapter of that game where you descend into this fucked up Texas Chainsaw house. You're looking for your wife. There's all kinds of these ambient sounds that you get a lot more of a vibe from when you have headphones on and you see everything. You're surrounded by it all. And man, when he got to the point where your wife started to kind of get like possessed a little bit, and you're like, what's this exorcist bitch doing? Yeah. There's a spot where you only have one place to go, and it's this dark open door that goes down into the basement.
Yes.
And I remember walking up to the edge of that fucking door, and all you hear is like, and I'm like, fuck that. Like, there's got to be a plan B. There's got to be something else I can do. And I remember like literally taking the controller and like doing like half a step. And then half a step, and then I fucked up and I did a half a step, and then I was stuck in an animation, and all of a sudden you see this bitch coming out of the shadows. And I was like, no. And then when it's VR, like she jumps up and gets right fucking here. And there's a video of it somewhere. I think on my YouTube channel, it's still there. I filmed like the first hour of me playing it, and man, you want to talk about shitting yourself. It doesn't get as scary as the game goes on. The other time that it was had a big reaction like that was where the mom, the matriarch of this family, is like a spider.
Yeah.
She bursts through the window at you when you're going up the stairs. Cause again, right fucking here. Or you turn a corner and one of those fucking like little goop monsters is right there. And you're like, son of a bitch. Ah! That shit was crazy. I wish I could have played the 8th game that way, the werewolf one, for the first time, but they didn't add the VR mode until a year later. So I already knew what was around every corner. That one would have fucked me up even more.
Is that the one with the super tall bitch?
Yeah. Lady Demetresk.
Can you lend me your VR headset for just a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Please.
Just play the same level.
Yeah. Why is it so sticky?
Yeah.
What is this?
You're pretty good.
Anyway, as far as me, my dream video game, I'd say Silent Hill 2, the one that just recently came out. That game has, oh my God, where do I begin? That game has just left a cerebral scar in my mind as far as the trauma it had on me when I first played it. And playing the remake, it was a beautiful remake as far as the sound design, the atmosphere, the enhancements. It's beautiful. And again, that really, it still haunts me to this day. And I'm playing it again with the headset. And just like Cody said, you hear things differently, and it adds more to it. The game I would like to see is Silent Hill 1. I would like to see Silent Hill 1 and 3 remade for the PlayStation 5. That would be my complete series, and I'd be
Silent Hill 1. I want really bad. I was pissed that they did 2 first. I was like, come on, fucking assholes. Why are we starting with the second game?
I would be so pleased with that. Yeah. I love horror games. Like and it's funny, like CP, everything he just said with the, like survival horror and feeling scared. There's only 2 games that have actually had that fear. Was actually 3. RE1, RE2, and then PT. I remember looking at the floor. I didn't want to look at the screen because I was so scared of what was in front of me. So that game, I want more games like that. I mean, we have the technology. I'm pretty sure we can come up with something. But yes, that's what I want more.
I think Resident Evil 7, like, I think the reason we have the way that was PT. Thanks to PT.
Yeah,
that's right. Next super chat. Again, Marcy, thank you so much. That's Deutsch. Is that what it is?
Danish krone.
Danish krone. Oh, thank you so much. I always see that thing Donkey Kong. I don't know why. At the same time, and the same with motion capture acting, I generally believe that Andy Serkis deserves some more recognition. Yeah, including stunt work. I think stunt work and this type of like a technology is what it's being used quite often in films, especially like Planet of the Apes. Definitely, the Academy needs to recognize that, but especially stunts. I don't know why they haven't recognized that genre yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. Okay, let's go back here. Oops, how do I hate that? All right. Speaking of Silent Hill, I have discovered David Lynch. I know he's been around. I know he's passed. But my wife grew up on Twin Peaks. She loves Firewalk with Me, the movie and the show. And I've never seen it before. So we've been watching the shows again. And I don't know if you guys are Twin Peaks fans or David Lynch fans or anything like that, but I know it's not for everybody. But for me,
to be fair, I've never watched Twin Peaks, but I've seen a little bit of David Lynch, and it's just so far off my wavelength. I haven't really had the motivation to dive in.
And what I love about it is that seeing Blue Velvet, Wild at Heart, and then we just saw Lost Highway. I think I messaged you guys. All of his films are heavily inspired by Silent Hill. I mean, Silent Hill took a lot of inspiration from David Lynch films. Like there's sequences, there's like the whole like it feels like a nightmare, like a dream. It doesn't feel surreal. I mean, it captures a lot of his type of style in Silent Hill 2. And of course, I love Silent Hill 2, and I didn't know they were grabbing inspiration from him. So there's a lot of sequences in Silent Hill 2 that are in these movies, and I think that's what the mystery and trying to figure things out. It just feels like a psychological nightmare. And Cody, you know this, like Session 9, Jacob's Ladder. I love those psychological horror movies where there's different realities and there's duality in there, maybe doppelgangers. I love that because the human mind is capable of so much hell and horror that to see it translated on screen successfully or not, it made sense to me. And Lost Highway like has been on my mind since I saw it. You can write essays about the film, about the duality of a person. And it apparently Lost Highway, it was inspired by the O.J. Simpson trial. David Lynch said that he was looking at OJ and he thought he was guilty. He goes, I find it odd that somebody can commit such an act like that and go on living with themselves. Like, how do you do that knowing you committed something? And then they discovered like there's like this phenomenon that people create a different reality in their mind and create the past of what they think has happened. So they've convinced themselves that this imaginary fantasy is actually real. And the fact that he attempts to put that on screen, and I get it, is like, oh, it fucking gets me, dude. And I get it. It's not for everybody. I totally understand that. But like, I'm on this binge right now. I've seen Twin Peaks, Firewalk with Me. I love it. One of the best soundtracks ever. And again, the Lost Highway. I loved it as well.
Okay. I haven't seen very much of it. So
Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry.
That was louder.
Oh,
Sorry, I turned it down.
Got a little deeper in there. It's a blind spot for me, so I can't really say too much. I've only seen, I think, 2 of his films, and they didn't really do a whole lot for me. So it's one of those things. Like, it seems like as a movie fan, I probably should dive in at some point and watch more. But I don't know, if you don't hook me right away as a filmmaker, it's like, ugh, I don't. Especially with him, like even to Jacob's point there or earlier, where he said he's very consistent. If I don't care for this, and that's his entire body of work, safe bet it's probably not for me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you don't like Quentin Tarantino, it's like, well, it's more of that, but just different settings and different characters.
Yeah. And there's like a realm of like fantasy. Like, again, there's like this veil between the real world and the fantasy world that his characters sometimes dive in. Like in Twin Peaks, there's that the dark room, I believe what it's called, where there's the red curtains. That's like a in between realities realm. That's why it never made any sense. But I like that because, again, it's not for everybody. I know you won't like it, Cody. I can tell you that for a fact you won't like it. But I appreciate that he's attempting to have this conversation and to depict this type of mindset on film. That's got to be difficult. And again, when people see it, it won't make any sense. But again, the flashes of light, when you go back and study it, I love that he's going out there. It's not for everybody. But again, for me, being a Silent Hill fan, it was perfect. I love that. And just the darkness within man and what we're capable of doing. And sometimes we create like this figure, this third person that speaks through us, for us to commit these acts. I'm like, holy shit, that's pretty cool. I do love that. That's my bag, man. I love this stuff.
Gotcha.
And I still haven't seen Mulholland Drive. That's next. Elephant Man, I haven't seen since I was a kid, but I remember crying when I was a kid.
That's probably the one I like of his.
That's one of the ones that I've seen. It was one of my Patreon picks years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen Eraserhead. Not yet.
It's a little odd.
Well, I'm sure.
I mean, it's not
No
like
shit.
unlike Twin Peaks. It's black and white, and a lot happens in the same room.
Mm-hmm. You're about my age, Charles. You remember how big Twin Peaks was when it came out? How it just was the biggest deal.
Someone sent it to me, and I've watched 2 or 3 episodes. And I just can't get myself into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is early '90s, and again, it was just something completely different. It was like an evening soap opera, but like a parody of a soap opera. But you have all these characters that have just more to them the more you watch the show. And, you know, the Laura Palmer, who killed her, they had that storyline that kind of brings everything together, and she has a dark history. And again, seeing the show and then Fire Walk with Me, I was like, holy shit, it's really dark, and just what adds another layer of disturbingness, if that's a word, disturbingness, another layer of just, what am I trying to say? Another layer of just it being kind of just off-putting is that these are supposed to be high school girls, and to see them going through this hell, and it just adds another layer of like, oh, this is really tough to watch. But it's for me. I loved it. I loved it. Let's see here. For me, Red Dead Redemption 2 is the is it monster status? But
The
still
most
epic.
sad.
What's that?
Most sad is I read the rest of the
Oh, most sad. Okay, there you go. But still epic game. I played. I was damn near cutting onions. When what happens in the third act. I've never played the game, but I've had it spoiled for me on social media.
It's a very good story and a very good lead character. I think the game itself is incredibly overrated.
You think so?
I'm just not like. I miss the days when Rockstar used to do a lot of different things. They've just done GTA shit ever since GTA 4 or Red Dead Redemption, whichever one came first. Like I used to like when they would do things like Manhunt and The Warriors and Bully.
Well,
and you know, now it's
Warriors is just kind of GTA in that
no,
universe.
it's not at all. You don't get in any vehicles. It's a fighting game. It's not at all.
Okay. Well, you don't get in vehicle. Okay.
Yeah. So
You
anyway,
don't get in vehicles that much in Red Dead. Walking around riding a horse.
it's GTA on horses, man. Come on. It's literally just GTA in the fucking old west.
I would say Warriors is GTA without the vehicles.
But you don't do anything like doing missions where you go to somebody, like it's all linear, and you're just basically interacting with the different scenes in the game. So I would
It's
disagree.
been a
with you.
while.
Yeah. To each their own, or no, agree to disagree. Wrong phrase. But anyway, Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, and everybody was losing their shit about it. And I remember I bought it day one, and I was playing it, and I was just like, I don't get it. Like the GTA formula started to bore me. Go to this place, talk to this guy, get a mission, drive way to the other end of the fucking map, go do the mission, and then go do it again. And so even though it looked beautiful and it was a very involved game, there's a ton of shit even to this day people are uncovering. I was just like, I don't know, man. So I only played like the first chapter of it, and I kind of got off of it. And then for years, people were like, you got to get back onto it. You got to play it. You got to play it. And so like maybe a year and a half ago, I think it was when I was sick. And so I was just kind of in the house, just doing shit for most of the time. And so I put it back on, and I finally played through the entire game. And I do think it is a great story. I think the Arthur Mitchell is a great character. It's definitely got that classic Old West tragedy to it. Gameplay wise, it still just didn't do a whole lot for me. Like I kind of was like forcing myself to get through it to experience the rest of the story. Yeah, I agree with Jacob. The Warriors is closer to Manhunt than it is to GTA. But I
didn't play either.
Yeah, Manhunt was the one where you're basically like stuck in a snuff film, and you get.
I do remember that. Yeah, it was really controversial.
Really violent. But ever since either GTA 4 or Red Dead Redemption, Rockstar has just gone back and forth. They'll do a GTA game, they do a Redemption game, they do a GTA game, they do a Redemption game. And they've remastered GTA 5 like what, 5 fucking times at this point. So I know that wasn't the basis of the question. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off on a rant. I miss the days when Rockstar would do a lot of different things and weren't just the GTA company, but obviously they make money hand over fist. So what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, well, GTA, what's the next one coming out? 6, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to come out either late this year or next year. They haven't put a release date, but yeah,
that's going to make $1 billion.
It's going to be the top selling game of all time. Not even fucking close for sure.
Yeah, and the fact that I've seen so many like clips, like they have like mocap of strippers. Apparently, you can go to strip clubs, and seriously, they do. They have mocap everywhere, and it's like, it's not for me because I don't have the time. But I can see if I was younger, where I, school and whatever, that's all I had to do. It's kind of like an RPG where you can just do so many things and explore so many things. You don't have to follow the missions. I would be totally consumed with this.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't have the time anymore as an old ass bastard.
Yeah, I mean, I was all about the GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. That came out when I was a teenager, and those games were the shit. And so I played the hell out of those. But then you get to GTA 4, and it's like you're getting phone calls, and you're like, "Hey, let's go bowling." And it's like, I'm fucking shooting people over here.
Yeah,
and
you
so
got a
now
phone, right? You can text people.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
now, like, I don't know, like, bigger's not always better for me when it comes to these sandbox games, and that's what Rockstar does. It's like, this map's going to be like 5 times the size of GTA 5, and I'm like, I was already overwhelmed with GTA 5, and like at a certain point, some of the action's cool and stuff, but you get so fucking sick of driving from point A to point B, or you're just doing the taxi thing to skip it, and I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll be fucking incredible, and I'll be like, I was wrong, but I'm just kind of bored with the GTA shit.
Did you ever play the games, Charles?
GTA, sure.
Yeah.
I'm fired up for 6, but I don't do every mission like this maniac down here. So that's part of it. Cody's got to do like the platinum. Yeah, I cut corners. Like, all right, what gets me to the end of this game? Good, I'll do that.
Yeah, but when you beat it, don't you see like the game complete is like 25%, and there's like 75% of the game because you skip the side missions?
It doesn't matter if you don't look at it. Just give me the ending.
See, my ADHD would kill me. Oh, I have to complete this shit. Yeah, I mean, the last game that really took a lot of my time that I had to make myself play was Ragnarok, God of War Ragnarok. Cody sent me a copy of that. I'm like, I'll give it a shot. And again, when it comes to spells and things like that, that's not really me, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. I love the story, the father-son thing. If there's a father-son, father-daughter thing, I'm hooked. And I love that story, and I'm glad I played it. But again, there's still so many things I haven't beaten. I know there are these night challenges with these green crystals you walked up to. I couldn't beat I don't know what I was doing, so I couldn't beat them. I beat a couple of them.
Those are for men.
Oh, shut up.
They're a bitch, though.
I know. Did you complete
17 times in a row? Like, motherfucker, goddamn son of a bitch.
Yeah, I'm like an hour into this trying to beat this guy, and I'm like, there's so many other things I could be fucking doing with my time right now.
Not me. I'm like, it's only 4 a.m. Let's go. Go, bitch.
Hey, Dice, what is up? What is up? Let's see. I think I missed another super chat. Marcy, God, you're the MVP, man. We're all okay. We're dedicating this to Marcy. This life is look at all these tips, super chats, man. Thank you so much. Oh, here you go. Oh, I don't want to hit that one yet. I don't want to get you in trouble. What up?
You're pretty good.
Okay, I think Elephant Man is his best, but I have only seen it 2 times because it's just so sad. Yeah, it's based on a true story, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Your present, because I always felt kind of like an outsider. Okay, yeah. So okay, yeah, I get it, man. Again, most films are like, I think that's why I love like the horror films, the classic horror films. They're all about people who are outsiders who don't fit in. So I do like that, man. So again, thank you for the super chat. I need to see it again though. But like I said, I remember seeing that as a kid and crying. So it's an acquired taste, right? Who's in the mood to go see a movie and cry? What's the last movie that made you guys cry? Because I don't have any other topics. We're just going to bullshit from here on out.
It's kind of something of a segue. We rewatched 1985's Mask with Cher. And
and Sam Elliott?
Yeah, we've seen it multiple times, but the two of us were just like waterworks. Like, what I know what's happening. Well, why? But sure enough, we were both watching, third, fourth time and just in tears. So that was probably the most recent one.
Does Cody cry? I think he does, right?
Yeah, father-son shit will fuck me up in a heartbeat.
No. You're supposed to say no. He is Cody. He cannot cry. So I cry for him.
I was born without tear ducts.
That's from Conan, by the way.
I'm looking at my list of last year, trying to think of what made me cry. Let's see here.
Yeah, you know what? As much shit as I give Disney, and this is why I have full confidence in James Gunn, this fucker had me crying over a digitized rabbit. in that Guardians
Mm.
3, and I'm over here crying over animated characters. Like, what the fuck's going on with me? But again, it's just the storytelling. That's why I have full confidence in what he's gonna do.
The
in
last
Superman.
movie that made me cry was
Muppet movie. Sorry.
yeah. It's called We Live in Time. It's Andrew Garfield and Florence Pugh, and it's basically it
From, like,
felt like it was
October?
gonna
From like October? It came out just recently, right?
late last year. It was the end of the year. It was when my FYC list, and I was like, oh, I like both of them. I'll give it a shot. On its surface, it looked like another one of those they fall in love and one of them gets cancer movies, and I was like, how many of these fucking things are they going to make?
Yeah.
But it tells you that up front, so it's not like something you're waiting on, and the whole movie is told out of sequence in seemingly this random order, which for most of the movie I was just like, why the fuck are they doing this? This is weird. And then it started to make sense to me as you get towards the end of the film. And again, I guess spoiler alert for the movie, but you could see the writing on the wall. I mean, they open the movie basically like, oh, I know where this is going. And what it ends up being is they're telling it in a sequence of like how you remember your loved ones. You don't think about like things, memories in sequence. You just remember random shit, random days. And that's kind of how the movie is told. But what fucked me up is that because it made me think of my grandmother, who was basically my mother. Florence Pugh is a chef in the movie. And there's a scene where basically after her and Andrew Garfield fuck for the first time, he wakes up in the morning, she's making him breakfast, and she's doing this thing where she's separating the eggs into different bowls before she scrambles them together. And he's like, why are you doing that? And she's like, well, in case the egg's bad or you get a shell or whatever, it doesn't taint the entire thing. And it seems like this total throwaway little meet cute thing for them to start making out again. And at the end of the movie, Andrew Garfield is making breakfast for their daughter, this little girl. And he's showing her the egg trick with the bowls. And she's like, well, why do you do that? And he's like, well, you do this. And that fucked me up because it made me think of how many things I do, whether it's cooking or certain ways that I raise my kids, that my grandma showed me. And it just made me think about like even people that have passed, how you kind of keep their spirit alive in your life and in your family through things like that. And just that, oh man, it fucked me. Like right now it's hard, but like I was watching it and I was like, oh fuck. And so that was the one that got me bad most recently. It's not like it didn't end up like the top of my list. I think it was like around 40 out of 130 movies last year. It was good, but those two elements, the way they did it out of sequence and how it ended up making sense to me, and then that scene at the end will stick with me. Iron Claw, that's another good one for sure.
I was about to say Iron Claw. That one got me. The one that really like got me again, because tied to family, was Anthony Hopkins in The Father. I don't know if you've seen that one where he's it came out 2
years ago.
Yeah. Well, he's suffering from dementia. And that's exactly what my dad died of. And just to see it acted the way Anthony Hopkins did it, and it's done to the point where it's his perspective, where the woman who plays his,
right?
Yeah, the woman who plays his daughter is a different actor, so he's confused, and we're confused as well. So we're seeing his perspective in his world, and it ends on a. Why did I bring this up? I'm sorry, crying. It ends on such a sad note, but it's the reality of it. How you go from adult person mindset to a child crying for your mama. It's so sad, dude, and that got me. That got me hard. Why are we talking about things that make me cry? I'm over here crying. We're all gonna cry in a few minutes.
You brought it up.
I know. Shut up. I didn't have any topics left. But that one was really hard. But I had tears of joy, which is very rare because I'm dead inside, right? With Picard season 3, episode 9, when the entire crew of the Enterprise D was on board the Enterprise D with the nacelles from the USS Syracuse flying out of space dock, fighting the Borg. Just seeing the crew on the Enterprise D, I got up and cried tears of joy and clapped. And think about it. When's the last time you cried tears of joy? You were so happy and overwhelmed. I can't recall that.
I don't know what
Maybe Justice League.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had tears of joy, to be honest with you. Maybe that's weird. Like, I don't remember ever crying because I was so happy. It usually is only when I'm sad or if I'm remembering, like my grandma or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Charles, have you ever been happy?
Not for a while, no. Uh, what was that football movie about the team that died in the plane crash? Like it really happened in real life. I think Matthew McConaughey was in it. It's like years ago.
Hoosiers. Marshall. We are Marshall.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are Marshall. Yeah.
When they when they win the game at the end, like I was like, oh, that's sweet, and I think I had a tear or two come to my eye.
Mm-hmm.
And good old Mick G directed film.
Mick
Whatever
G
happened to him?
He gets too much hate, man. Terminator Salvation was badass.
Great.
I like that, and I like This Means War. I think that movie's hilarious. The two spies fighting over Reese Witherspoon.
Oh.
I've never
And
seen
then
that.
he did
come up in a
both of
week.
the. I think he did both of them, but he definitely did the first one, The Babysitter, with Samara Weaving. I love those movies. So yeah, I'm with you. I
Alright.
think McG gets a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. The Terminator Salvation, I think, was a great leap to something different.
I agree.
And I think it's just if I were to rank it, I think it'd be 3, in my opinion.
It's 4 for me, but yeah, very
Dark
close.
Fate is growing on me because I bought it and I got to see it the other day, and I was like, hey, I like the and my wife notices, I can't believe I missed this, but the T-1000, the guy, whatever his name is, I love that the casting of him. He played it great, but I love his speech and his style of speaking changes depending on who he's around.
Mhm,
That's a little detail that I didn't catch when I first saw it. I'm like, hey, a little detail there. That was pretty cool.
mhm.
Another super chat. Thank you so much. I got pretty emotional watching Dumb and Dumber. Okay, because I was drunk and chose to watch it because I forgot. Because I thought I was going deaf. Oh, really? Wow. Okay.
That was not alcohol, sir.
Yeah.
That was opioids.
Oh man, but yeah. So I don't have any other topics. You just want to end it? You guys good?
Smooth transition.
No.
Open it up to the chat. I don't give a fuck.
Let's open up to the chat, folks. That's a good transition. So what do we have in the chat?
I'm done talking. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Avengers
Just
Endgame
roll
was
over and
the
go to
last
bed.
movie that made me cry. You know what? It was emotional for me because my kids have already grown up. My daughter moved out, right? And my son's about to. He's like 18 and all that other stuff. So I took them to see the movies from Iron Man 2 up until Endgame. So seeing every movie at the movies. And again, for those who say I hate the MCU, I do now post Endgame. But I was a big fan. I loved it. I love the story. I love what they were doing, the momentum they were building. So seeing it with them in that theater that Thursday, I think is when it came out. And just the reactions that we all are bored to death of with, Cap getting the hammer and all that other stuff to your left. That was pretty cool. That's a movie event that I will never forget. Never. The only one, honestly, that's closest to that for me, and I've said this before, is just laughing out loud to Something About Mary. Everybody in the theater just cracking up. That's a theater experience that I will never forget. Ever.
I think the hardest I ever laughed in a theater in like one single moment is a movie I don't even like, but it's have you guys ever seen Strange Wilderness with Steve Zahn, where they're like looking for Bigfoot?
No.
Not a good movie, but I remember me and a buddy of mine from high school went to go see it just because we like comedies, and like Steve Zahn and a couple other people are in it, and we're like, okay. And I swear to God, like the first hour of the movie is just devoid of laughs. We're just sitting here like, oh man, this is a mistake. And it gets to a point where like it's a gag that you can watch. I'm going to spoil it because you're not going to go watch this movie.
Yeah.
But it's a stupid, irreverent comedy where these really dumb people are out there trying to find Bigfoot in the wilderness. And there's literally a point where they're setting up the cameras and they're doing an intro or whatever, and suddenly Bigfoot shows up behind them and they're like, oh fuck, and they all pull out machine guns and shit, and like it's like a 5-minute sequence of them just tearing Bigfoot to pieces. And everybody in my theater just fucking died choking with laughter because it was so out of nowhere. And it was like, oh my God, they spent an hour looking for this fucker and they just shredded him.
Shut it up.
And I mean, I like your throat hurt after you fucking got through with this scene. So I think that was the hardest I ever laughed in theater for the wrongest reasons possible. I've seen much funnier movies where you're laughing more consistently, but I'm talking about you couldn't hear the movie for 5 minutes because everybody was just like
the loudest I've ever laughed inappropriately in a theater where I was the only one laughing was I was watching Meet Joe Black. In the scene where he gets hit by the car. It's so random, dude, but it's supposed to be this hard, tragic moment. I was laughing my ass off
oh man.
in the theater, dude, because it was just It was funny. Just did not expect that.
Mhm.
Somebody asked. I'm sorry. There was a question here. Let me get back and see if I can find it. Somebody had asked if I had seen something. Just bear with me. I'm just going to scroll up.
Marcy also added a postscript.
I know. So I'm sorry. Somebody had asked if I had seen the monkey, and I can't find the post. But yes, I did see it this past weekend, and I sent a chat to the group, and I'll just tell everybody what I said. I go, I think Terrifier films have ruined, the graphic kills for me because the shock value, all three of those movies are just top tier and grotesque and something you don't expect, like a chainsaw going up somebody's ass, things like that.
Mhm.
And this film had these kills. It was kind of like a Final Destination thing, but anytime something happened, I'm just like this, like that Gomez and Morticia meme. I'm just like, everyone's just out of their seats laughing. I went in a good mood, had a few drinks, and I wanted to enjoy it. And again, I just couldn't get into it because I know the shock value was making people laugh. Some of the kills were kind of funny, but again, nothing shocked me. And again, like Cody mentioned, well, don't put it on Terrifier, man. I'm like, okay, I shouldn't do that. My bad. But again, when you've seen that type of just grotesque horror, shock horror, right? Anything else coming close to that really doesn't do it for me. I don't know. So I thought it was okay. The first act I like with the kids. I like that. And maybe when he meets his son in that middle portion of the film. But again, it just kind of dragged toward the end. And everything was just very predictable at the end. Like I saw it coming a mile away. Like I knew it was not going to end on a happy note. Like, no, the brother's going to get killed or something like that. So it was okay. I think it's based off a short story of Stephen King or something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, The Monkey's Paw, but Stephen King didn't make up that, but same thing. What did you
Yeah.
guys think?
I liked the first half when they were kids quite a bit, and then after they were adults, it just kind of lost something for me. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know if it was just I wasn't as invested. I don't know if the humor didn't work as well or it just overstayed its welcome. But right about the halfway point, I started to not laugh so much, and I was just like, I don't know. Like it felt like it turned up the quirkiness a lot in the back half, and I wasn't as into it.
Yeah.
But I look forward to rewatching it. It's a movie I think I'll probably like more in time.
Yeah. Have you seen it, Charles?
No.
Nope. I just spoiled it for you.
Not really.
Exactly. I'll forget this by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am desensitized, so please send things my way when it comes to horror. I mean, I don't want to see the stuff that Charles was forced to watch in your video series with people shitting on platters and eating it.
Forced.
It's the only way I can make money.
For that. I laughed when you put
painted
the
yourself
poll
in a
up.
corner with that, right, or something.
I laughed when you put the poll up. It was like, do you want the Godfather trilogy or the Human Centipede? I was like, why are you even asking? You know what
Dude.
the fuck you're watching.
I was
Is that
kind
how
of
it
hoping.
happened?
I was kind of hoping, like, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone.
No, you're the
Wasn't-
bird and the stone.
It wasn't even close.
No, yeah, I laughed. I saw that. I was like, man, really? It was so hopeful too. It was like even the way he ordered it, he tried to like put Human Centipede third, thinking that he would just get people that didn't want to click read more and would like just spam Godfather. Yeah, it was like Godfather, like Back to the Future, Human Centipede, and like something else that was like somewhat prestige. I was like, bitch, you know which one? 88% is gonna click on that fucking third one.
Like the Old Boy trilogy was.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was something.
Oh boy,
it was,
I do
it was
love that
three
movie.
great options and the Human
Yeah.
Centipede, and I was like, okay, you tried.
The original Old Boy was really good. And the
Mhm.
end was like, ugh.
Oh yeah, not the Spike Lee one.
Oh no.
It's like me putting a poll, like, what do you guys want me to talk about today? Blue Velvet, The Ref, or Halloween? Wonder which one's gonna win.
Have you checked out Serbian film in is it Salo?
Salo is the film you referenced.
Yeah,
about
the
platter of shite.
shite. Yeah, that's just I get there's films, right? Like the Human Centipede is just made for the shock value and the grotesqueness of the whole thing. I like out of all the three, I think I like the first one best. 2 was just exploitation top tier. I mean, it was just like making a mockery of the whole thing. It just went a little too
Third
far.
one. If 2 is making a mockery, what the hell do you think of the third one?
Oh, that's the prison one, right?
Yeah, or this like
It's like, come on. Sequels, you got to add more. Like, come on. How much is too much? Come on. So
I
the
am
first one
proud to
was
say
great.
I've never subjected myself to any of these films.
There's these people in this movie that get their lips sewn on other people's
I know
assholes.
the premise.
And they have
that's
to
all you really
pee.
need to know.
Yeah, I've seen like the clip of it on like TikTok or something where it's a foreign language film, right? The first one.
No.
Pretty positive.
No,
at
it's
least.
English.
It's English. Maybe it's dubbed.
yeah,
I don't know.
it's-
Maybe
Yeah.
just one of the people speaks Japanese or
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
That's
There's a
what it is.
Japanese character.
Okay, yeah, that's what it is. Because I've seen the scene where he's like, "Oh shit, I have to shit," and I'm like, "No, not watching whatever
They
the
have
fuck
to.
came before that and after that."
Feed. I just remember
Wait.
the scene. Feed
So, Rudy, Marcy asked something about
dumplings.
No, I think it was about Daredevil.
Oh, was there some?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard getting cast for Daredevil. Not to be a spammer, but I still
No, I'm
want.
kidding.
The Scooby Doo Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, not to be a spammer, but I still want to hear your thoughts on Matthew Lillard getting cast for Daredevil Born Again season 2.
As what?
I don't know.
As what?
I-
There's not really much to comment on because I'm watching the show and I have no idea who he's playing. He's not in season 1, so it's
yeah, he's
cool. I mean, love Matthew Lillard, so cool.
yeah, anything he does, man, I'm down for him. I'm a big fan of him, but I haven't heard anything, honestly, about him being in Daredevil. I mean, I know Scream, right? He's supposed to be coming back in Scream. I don't know
Yeah.
how the fuck that's going to happen.
None of us know. I
What
assume,
happened to us boycotting it after how they treated Melissa? I thought we're all fuck
They don't
Scream
care.
7.
They don't care.
Or
They're
did we
just
just
trying to
forget
pull every
about it?
trick
Just
in the
move about our
book.
lives.
Who's we? I never said I was boycotting shit.
But
I
that
was
was
like,
just
oh,
what
that
I
was-
saw on Twitter.
Well,
Oh,
Melissa
there's a
Barrera's doing just
selection
fine.
of people that are still doing that because they actively were going around and like threatening people and spoiling Hard Eyes because it's the same fucking company. Like
Mhm.
I had my little share where all I did was just block everybody and move on because I was like, I'm tired of Twitter bullshit where they tried it on me because I had made a comment on somebody. They had mentioned people doing that, and I was like, yeah. I said Melissa Barrera could call that herself could call that loser behavior and they wouldn't care. And then they like quote tweeted that like, oh, this guy. And I'm like, okay, you have fun with your little weird cult. I'm moving on with life.
Yeah, I think I'm done with Twitter.
I'm
I
not far from it.
deactivated it a long
I'm
time
not far
ago.
from it. I got into it with somebody today, and it was the first time since last summer. And I was just like, ooh, I don't like Twitter at all. Like I do it for sometimes it's nice, but when I get into the bullshit, I'm just like fingers just hovering over that delete app.
Yeah, I'm cleansed from it, so I don't miss it at all. And Blue Sky, I tried it. It's not for me. I'll stick with TikTok, and Threads is actually pretty cool. I like Threads. Threads is not too bad.
That's the Instagram one.
Yeah, it's the same thing, but it's just whatever. I can't say your first name. I'm gonna just say Panda, right? How do you pronounce that? I'm sorry. I'm bad.
Abalash?
Abalash Panda. Okay. Question for all three. Thoughts on the first 4 Megadeth albums? Ooh, that's totally out of nowhere. I feel that they are a very unconventional song structure that made them unique.
I'm not as well versed in Megadeth to be able to give you the best answer, but I'll try to look it up.
Yeah.
I know
Countdown to
Peace Cells was
Extinction
the
is one?
first one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I
So
have
far, so good. So what?
Peace Cells, but Who's Buying? That's the one I always played all the time. And then of course, Symphony of Destruction.
Killing is My Business and Business is Good is listed as the first album.
Okay.
Does Kill 'Em All
Countdown
count?
to Extinction is Countdown to Extinction is what Symphony of Destruction is on.
Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah, that's
remember
not the
that being
first
big.
4. Peace Cells, So Far So Good, So What, and Rust in Peace are the first 4. Countdown is the 5th album.
Huh.
Yeah.
Rust in Peace, Hangar 18, I know is a huge song for them. Yeah, most of these songs I haven't heard, so I'm not as big of a Megadeth fan. I like some of their songs. I'm much more of a Metallica person. I think Megadeth has incredible musicianship, but I've never really cared much for Mustaine's vocals, so I've never been able to really get into them. But Symphony of Destruction's great. Tous les Mondes is great. What's the one for Last Action Hero? Angry Again. I like that song a lot. Peace Cells, of course, is great. Hangar 18 is pretty good. That's kind of where I'm starting to tap out on my Megadeth knowledge.
Yeah. Peace Cells for me. They also had an album, like a greatest album, well, covers, Hidden Treasures, where they did a cover of Alice Cooper's No More Mr. Nice Guy. I did like that one. Of course, Countdown to Extinction, that came out right before the Black Album. They were number 1. The Metallica comes with their sold out bullshit and takes them off the number 1 spot. So I did like that. I can't really speak too much on that, but I love Dave Mustaine's contributions to Kill 'Em All. Kill 'Em All would not be Kill 'Em All without Dave Mustaine. So, and that's one of my favorite Metallica albums. especially with that spider chord. You know what that is, right? The spider chord. But
No.
yeah, well, it's like a chord that he invented to get the certain sound, and not many people can do it apparently. But yeah, I wish I could have more to contribute. CP, do you have anything to add here?
I'm looking at Rust in Peace, Holy Wars, Hangar 18, Take No Prisoners. Those are all solid songs for me. I like Lucretia quite a bit too. Not very familiar with So Far, So Good, So What. I am quite familiar with Peace Sells. Trying to get to the track listing. Yeah, The Conjuring, Good Morning, Black Friday, good cover of I Ain't Superstitious. I don't remember what the question is. I certainly prefer Metallica, but Megadeth is certainly one I don't mind listening to. And I do have a couple of favorites from those albums.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, if this question were like for Metallica albums, I can go on for the next hour. But
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a really bad time to be the second best metal band.
Oh, God. Speaking of metal, my wife and I go to this local pizza death metal bar called Faust, and they have a DJ there who plays metal that you've never heard before. And I always listen, Google what's this song, and I listen to it and then add it to a track. I'm a big fan, and I sent you guys the album cover of this band called Eternal Champion, where it's like classic 80s metal, but it's all about sorcery, dragons, and Conan the Barbarian shit. it's so operatic, whatever the word is, but it's fucking awesome. It's got those heavy chords that I love, but it's very theatrical. But again, I love the source material. So if you want some cool heavy metal that you haven't heard that's new, this stuff came out like 2016 and 2020 that I didn't know they still made music like that. Check that out. And then Acid Witch is another good one that I heard. It says that swamp metal, like he's actually saying lyrics, but you don't understand it. That's another great one that I heard as well. Acid Witch and Eternal Champion. That's my top picks, top suggestions for new metal if you want to check them out.
I like Ginger.
Who?
Ginger. Female lead singer. It's kind of a YouTube reaction bait where she sings clean notes and then does like that growly shit.
Swamp metal or something.
And that was like a big deal a couple of years ago. But their other music is quite good as well.
I haven't bought it. I know they got a female lead singer, but you guys have any thoughts on that?
I haven't listened to the album. I've never really been a Linkin Park fan. Like I like some of their songs, but I never like bought albums and listened to them, even though I was the age for it. I do like the song that they released as like the announcement song for the new singer. I think it's solid, but I didn't listen to the whole album.
Okay. Your favorite 2010s white girl song?
It's a white girl song.
Can I get an example?
Yeah. Can you give us an example? We'd be more than happy to answer that. Maybe like Hannah Montana. Maybe I don't know.
Party in the USA.
Yeah, we all know the words to that song.
White girl.
That's not lie. I'll check out Electric Wizard. I'll check that. I think that, as a matter of fact, that was like on my Spotify thing when I type in Acid Witch. Like you may like this, like Green Goblin and Electric Wizard, things like that. So I got to check that out.
Green Goblin. Is that a real thing?
I think so. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it here on Spotify. Here, talk amongst yourselves while I look this up. Cody, you're in charge.
Firework by Katy Perry is an example. I like E.T. by Katy Perry.
Yeah, I don't listen to pop, so I guess I'll just say Party in the USA because that was the only one that came to mind.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here.
Holla Back Girl, one of the best white girl songs. My daughter loves that song.
Let's see.
It's not the best endorsement.
Mhm.
Yeah, so here's Acid Witch. I can't play because I know I'll get copyright. That's what I thought. Elves. I thought I said Green Goblin, but they have a song called Elves.
Close.
Trick or Treat.
Yeah, that's the one I was playing. Trick or Treat. And I'm gonna add it to my heavy metal.
I thought it was a cover of the Fastway song from the movie.
Oh no, it's something else.
I was like, ooh, check it out.
Let's see, there's here's the other bands I think I saw. You type that in and it gives you other things. There's Acid Witch. I love the art on these albums. It's really pretty fucking cool.
I was just going to say the art looks a little unprofessional, but I guess.
Yeah, it's got that certain theme. Like I thought I saw Green Goblin somewhere. I think I may have seen that and thought it was a Green Goblin or something like that. There he goes.
It's literally a Green Goblin. Oh,
yeah. This is what's it called. Yeah,
Their
album,
mascot.
Witchtanic Hallucinations.
That's their Eddie.
Yeah. So again, I'm all into like new shit. And again, I heard this DJ. She's amazing. Her name's Lillifer. Lilithfer, like Lucifer, but it's Lilith. It's pretty cool. Anyway, we follow her on IG, and I love hearing metal that I've never heard before. Pretty fucking cool. Hold on. You guys know the rock song John Wayne was Nazi? Actually played a pretty cool song. But I haven't heard that. Have y'all?
No.
I like Nazi Punks. That's a great song from the Dead Kennedys.
It was covered in Green Room.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That like, hey, I have an idea, right? That's the first song they played. That's pretty damn cool. This is a cover. Let's see here. White Girl Music.
Okay.
I do like divorced dad rock. Apparently, anything from the early 2000s is divorced dad rock, like Hoobastank, Papa Roach.
Three Doors Down, Creed.
Sevenfold.
Yeah, they all kind of get lumped in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I laughed. Somebody said that when I was at a Three Doors Down concert. They're like, hell yeah, this is divorced dad rock. And I was like, pretty good. That's pretty good.
Another super chat. Let's see here. I think we'll go on for another 10 minutes and then we'll wrap it up. You should try Good Morning Black Friday from Megadeth. Okay, check that out. I'm always down for new suggestions. This song is basically a slasher movie. Oh, that's very cool. There's a genre of music that it's like kind of like horror movies, right? And like there's the Misfits. Like a lot of their songs are based out of like movie themes and like, you know, Pumpkinhead, things like that, Planet of the Apes. So I always try to find metal that's tied to movies. I think there's a metal song somewhere where it's Ghostface. It's a song about Scream. And I can't recall the name of the band or the song, but I recall something like that happening.
Ice Nine Kills is a band where all of their songs are themed after horror movies.
Yeah, I like that.
Did Terrifiers, Terrifier 3 that did a song with the actor.
It's a pretty badass video. I'm not crazy about their music, but the video is cool.
I agree.
Yeah. Creed is super underrated. Yeah.
It's just one of those bands that got a bad rep and that just carried them for some reason. You know, Scott Stapp's behavior certainly didn't help, but musically, that band is incredible, even more so in Alter Bridge. But yeah, it's always one of those bands. It's like, you like Creed? I'm like, fucking right, I do.
Yeah, they were Nickelback before Nickelback was.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Yeah.
What was that one song, Cody, that I said I was going to sing to you when next time we met karaoke? My Sacrifice, right? Hello, my friend, we'll meet again. It'll sound better.
You are with me.
Yeah. I'm going to sing to you. Everybody, you, Sean, CPM. It's like sing with so much passion, I'm going to cry. Make it awkward for everybody. They're still around?
Yeah, they released what's supposed to be their last album 2 years ago. No, it has not grown on me. It's their worst album.
Ooh, okay. Anything you got to add to that, Mr. Charles?
I haven't been in touch with Godsmack in a while. Not since they did didn't they do an album with just acoustic stuff?
Oh, Jesus Christ. That was like
it's been a bit.
2004 or some shit.
It's been a bit.
No, we the wife and I are watching. We're in our David Lynch, streak right now. Like I said, we're watching Twin Peaks and his movies. We're into that. What's the genre? Psychological horror, transdimensional.
Just a question mark.
Yeah,
David Lynch, I think, is the genre.
Yeah, it's Lynchian. Yeah, I'm all for that, man. But no, I understand. She's seen it all. The show that came after the show. And the prequel to the show, which is a remake of the first season of the first show.
No, it's
okay. I'm way off. That's me making an ass of myself. I don't know. See, I was trying to sound like I knew what I was talking about, and you just fucking stole my thunder again, dude. First, you're showing off the guns.
Shit straight. You got two experts here. Tolerate that.
And the commenters probably.
Yeah,
way.
This guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about.
J-Dev will tell you the exact timestamp that Hannah shows up. Fuck them.
Yeah, didn't you two do a live on that on Dexter?
Mm-hmm.
Recently? When haven't you? Like, was this a fifth one? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's 99% prequel. Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. Anyway, let's see here. Happy birthday, Jessica Biel. I don't know who's her birthday. Slipknot, I've seen them like 3 times live. I can't name one song, but it's a hell of a show. Corey Taylor's got a voice of an angel. fucking awesome.
Bacon cheese.
So you guys been okay?
Yeah.
Good. I need to get some new merch.
Busy as
I
fuck.
saw your store opened up, right? I need to go buy a shirt.
Well, yeah, it was a whole debacle. So I relaunched the store back in like September, and it went really well. And then the company that I've had my merch store on for years has taken a giant shit. And so suddenly I was seeing all these reports and hearing from people that like quality had dipped and orders were not getting shipped for like months, and even creators were having problems with payouts. And so I cut ties with that entirely and moved the entire body of merch designs over to Fourth Wall, which is supposed to be like one of the best companies as far as merch and stuff. I just did my onboarding call today, so I've relaunched it a second time.
Mm-hmm. What's the promo code for 50% off? Charles, right?
Pig
I love
Venus.
Charles. Yeah.
Someone asked which member of Autop Stream wins in a fist fight.
Where's that question at?
It was a while ago.
Hey Rudy, if you got into a fight with
Wasn't
Cody,
that-
who would win? He's taller than me, so
Just go for
I'd
his
have
knees.
to go with the slingshot and stone to the forehead to take him down.
Look, Zack Snyder.
Oh. Why, dude? He's knocked out, but he's got an erection. He's massively hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Cody would win, but I would at least hit him a few times. He'd remember me. I don't know. I'm not a fighting guy. I'm old, man. If I overexert myself, I just like, we had brush pickup on the city. Does your city do that where every year they pick up brush or like bulk things? And I'm over here taking all these sofas that are all torn up, and I'm hurt. I pulled a back muscle, dude. If I laugh too hard, I pull a back muscle. So it just takes one vigorous movement and I'm down, man, in pain. So my fighting days are over. Now, who's better looking? That's a different story.
And yet the same answer. No.
Yeah, it ain't sucking. Anyway, what was I going to say? No, I can't say that. We're live. Oh, you know what films I've been watching?
David Lynch. We know.
David Lynch. Well, no, not David Lynch. We've been watching what's his fucking name? The director. The house is called The House by the Cemetery. It's Lucio Fulci. Yeah, we're watching a bunch of Lucio Fulci movies as well. Those are really good.
You guys go down some interesting rabbit trails.
Oh fuck yeah, man.
Let's discover Italian horror and Lynch simultaneously.
Mm.
We're freaks that way.
High
man.
five. Honora sucks.
And there was another film. What was it called? Let me see if I can find it. The Isla She-Wolf of the SS. That's fucking a trip, dude.
Sounds like
You know what-
something Rob Zombie would make.
Yeah, it's
Does.
heavily inspired by that short film he did for a Grindhouse. I don't know if I can show it because
Oh, he did. Yeah. Werewolf Women of the. I knew it sounded something like that.
Yeah.
He's always got those like extravagant titles.
yeah, that's a trip, man. If you wanted to just see something like crazy, we go down those pipelines sometimes. Like, let's just watch something that's fucking insane. Because sometimes we get bored.
Yeah.
Jacob in the chat, the reason Hard Truths didn't get nominated was it wasn't released to theaters in 2024.
Oh, I missed a question. I missed.
no, it was it.
Oh no, I didn't. I got the super chat. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it was something from last night. Whatever.
Tony, I missed your question. I'm sorry. What was it?
We're missing a lot of questions.
I'm sorry. What a fucking horrible host this guy is. It's Rudy. This piece of shit. What's your favorite Martin? I don't know who that is.
3 Billboards.
In Bruges.
Bruges, 7 Psychopaths. Banshees of Inisherin. 3 Billboards would be my answer.
Okay.
As it
I would say
be for
in
me.
Bruges. I genuinely laughed at the end. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. How often can we get these streams? Once a year. I try to go live at least once on my channel every month. I'll do a
So
Q&A.
whenever Rudy gets in a really dark place, so just send him
Yeah.
hate mail
Yeah.
and racist comments, and we'll be
Oh,
back
yeah.
next month.
Yeah, I got tons of screenshots, by the way. I didn't delete those fuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. What did I tell you guys last week? Like, hey, you guys want to go live? I need a laugh.
Yeah.
What other questions that we have here? Zack Snyder. What do you think Zack Snyder do with his career moving forward? Don't write, direct. I love what he does. I love the visual flair. His films are totally unique, but some of the writing, he's written, I think, 3 films, Sucker Punch, and then of course this past sequels with the hell the name of those movies?
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. I like the idea of it, the concept, the visuals are all breathtaking. I love watching because every shot feels like a painting, but story-wise, it's kind of weak. So maybe if you had a co-writer, or maybe, I don't know, maybe James Gunn writes something, he directs it, I'd be down for that. I don't see why
Dawn of
not.
the Dead.
Yeah.
He wrote it. And yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, that's one of the great ones.
What do I hope he does going forward? Calm the fuck down. Scale back. Quit trying to make everything a 9-hour epic. And for the love of fuck, do one cut.
Mm.
Like, I'm a big fan of the guy, but I really got a bad taste in my mouth looking at the interviews. And he's like, oh, the PG-13 version. And then the rated R kind of like deconstructs my own movie in the PG-13. And I'm like, dude, fucking stop.
That's enough Snyder bashing, though. Okay, we get it.
Yeah.
You weren't happy.
I'm saying that with love.
Yeah, okay. Tough love.
Yeah.
This is what he needs to hear. Yeah.
I love your stuff, but quit it.
Yeah. Oh, what was the other question here? All these should do a 3-hour crime epic.
No, he shouldn't.
Well,
He needs to go back and do something that's like less than 2 hours long.
that's
go back
impossible.
to Dawn of
I don't
the
think
Dead,
I don't think he's
300.
capable of doing that.
Well, he needs to figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, because the director's cut for Watchmen was great. I prefer it better than the theatrical. That was really, really good. Maybe that was a one-shot deal, maybe. But again, Justice League goes without saying that was fantastic. His
Does
cut
it?
especially. Yes,
Does it go without saying, really?
it goes definitely without saying. It's a
It
masterpiece.
never goes without
Fucking
saying.
masterpiece, yeah. It's a masterpiece, man. All right. Do you think Doomsday and Secret Wars could be just as good as no? They're never going to get that high again. I know that's what everybody's reaching for that dopamine high. We're all like edging in our pants. Then that scene, no.
The
We're
lead-in's nowhere close.
Well, yeah, that's the thing is like Infinity War and Endgame were literally the culmination of 20 years of being on top. Not to say that they didn't have misses, but their misses were forgivable because they were consistent and the highs were high. Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be wrapping up like a 4-year stretch of maybe they'll pull it off and have some awesome shit in it, but it's not going to be. It's like watching a great season finale to a bad season.
Yeah.
It's not going to touch the season that was fucking great from start to finish.
You know what they're going to do though? They're just going to go with the cameos because that's what's really going to get people vested in, and they're probably it's going to reset the universe probably, and they're going to start back to zero, start making Iron Man remakes and things like that. And I hope I'm wrong. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
I just don't know why the fuck they've been dragging their dick with X-Men for so long. They've had the rights to it for the like 8 years at this point, or how it seems like a long fucking time, and still we've had like a few mentions, and it's like.
Yeah,
like it's right there. Like I don't, Fantastic Four. I know people are excited about it. I could care less about Fantastic Four. I'm more interested in when the fuck X-Men's coming in.
I
Yeah.
think Fantastic Four is gonna bomb again.
you think so?
I really do.
That
think
would be a big blow to the nuts for them because they're putting a lot into that.
Yeah. As far as momentum and anticipation, I think Superman has got more of the audience right now. As far as like
Sure.
excited to see that trailer, it did so much. And hey, did you see the poster? I finally framed it.
Mhm.
And there it is, right there. I love it, man. Again, it's like I said, watching that trailer, it just felt like I was reunited with friends I hadn't seen in a while. I felt hopeful at the end of it, which is odd. So maybe that's what we need. I don't know, but I think more people are excited about that than obviously Fantastic Four because it's new. We've seen Marvel movies in the past. We know what to expect. Shut your mouth, CP. But this seems new. We love James Gunn. This is the kickoff to the universe. So
I mean, you're right though. Without your rose-tinted glasses, Marvel's in a really shitty place right now. And you know, DC at least. All right, let's try again. Here's the thing that we all know and love.
Yep. Batman 22 is by far the best comic book movie in my opinion. Seven and Saw. Yeah, it's one of the best. It's one of the best. Top 5. I mean, Logan would be up there
It
as well.
might be my number one, and I don't say that lightly. Like it's been Captain America, Winter Soldier for a very long time. and I haven't rewatched Batman as much as I've rewatched Winter Soldier, but it's either number 1 or number 2 for me. I love that movie so much. And Penguin did nothing but make me love it even more.
Oh, Penguin's amazing. Superman, Avatar, and MJ are gonna be only $1 billion movies this year. Avatar's
MJ?
coming out again this year?
Yeah. December.
MJ?
What's MJ?
Not the Michael Jackson biopic, is it? Because that's
Oh, yeah. Michael.
I don't think
You know,
so.
I don't know. That movie's weird. It could go either way for me. I could see it tanking because of the controversy, or I could see it making fucking bank because it's
They had
Michael
to-
Jackson.
They had to cut a bunch of it out because of a lawsuit that they can't.
Regardless, the public doesn't give a fuck. The public loves Michael Jackson, and like,
Mm.
if nothing else, the black community is going to come out in droves for that movie.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of fucking white people that love him too. So I would not be surprised at all if that movie clears $1 billion. But we'll see. It's
This
gonna
is a
depend.
documentary or
No,
bio-
it's a movie.
No,
it's Antoine Fuqua's directing it. It's a biopic, but I don't know. There's no trailer or anything, and that's always the weird thing. It's like with him specifically, it's like, is it just going to be about his music career? Are they going to touch on
They
the
had
touching
stuff.
on part?
They had stuff, and they're cutting it for lawsuits.
And that's where
So-
it gets tricky. I mean, just look at, I don't think it made $1 billion, but look at Bohemian Rhapsody, like very glossy, sanitized version of that story, but it was massively successful.
yeah.
This could
in
be the
hindsight,
same
it's not
thing.
as good though as I remember.
I've always liked it. I've never been as into the harsh criticism for it, but I certainly get under certain things. But Michael Jackson, it could go either way. It could be completely just tainted in controversy, or that thing could fucking soar.
Yeah.
Michael
All right,
Jackson is still to this day the biggest music artist
Of all time.
of all time, and it's
Yeah.
not even close.
I don't think people like younger than myself know how big he was in the 80s and 90s. The world stopped when he premiered a video.
Yeah.
He would simulcast it on Fox, ABC, all the channels, and it just stopped the world in its tracks. So it was a big fucking deal.
I
What are
think
you laughing
Thriller.
about, sir?
Gray's in the chat saying, "Don't underestimate the plastic surgery community."
Oh shit!
I think Thriller is still the top selling album of all time. I could be wrong, but
no,
it
it's
was.
Taylor Swift something now. I don't know.
Are you sure? It might be, but for the longest time, Black and Black was the top selling rock album, and Thriller was a top selling album by a lot. Maybe it's changed, but I wouldn't be surprised.
What is the greatest? It's still Thriller. Wow. Okay, 70 million. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought like Katy Perry. I know what. I think they're the most downloaded single tracks that you can buy, not the album. That's a difference.
Mm.
Okay.
How
Well,
many,
I know.
how many plays.
But you got to think nowadays too. Yeah, the album sales aren't what they were and never
Right.
will be. So I don't know how they play in clicks and Spotify plays and everything else. But yeah, I look at the list and AC/DC's right there and too. Like I thought.
Wow.
But look at all these albums. I mean, they're like the huge, gigantic albums of the 70s and 80s. So
Yeah.
no albums have outsold anything since the 80s because that was the only way you could listen to music.
Yeah, go to the store and buy it.
Plus, they released singles in the '90s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a hard out at 10, right?
Who's got a hard on?
I mean, it's whatever. I mean, yeah, we seem like we were wrapping it up
Yeah,
soon.
we're-
but
Do me a favor and hold that up so I can see your cock. Lying bitch.
bitches
All right, well-
leave.
Well, let's wrap it up then. So I think we got all the questions. I got all the super chats.
Would you say
oh, wait,
Michael
no,
Jackson is bigger than Elvis? Yes, he's
there's-
massively bigger than Elvis, and
I get-
Elvis is huge.
I got a super chat for you, Cody.
Okay.
Hey, Cody, any plans for continuing the John Carpenter reviews?
I've reviewed.
still
all
working
of
on
his-
that?
No, I've reviewed all of his films. So I mean, unless he makes another one, plans have concluded. I reviewed everything except any like TV movies that he made, but I've reviewed them all.
Oh no, we don't want to fight you, dude. You're 5'9", average build, cerebral palsy, and has kneecap dislocated one time. No one's gonna fight you, man. We love you. There's nothing but love here.
You don't have to fight you; just hit that button.
I'm gonna do that.
You grab my nuts.
There you go. All right, guys. I think we're good here. This was fun. Oh, we got another super
Mhm.
chat. Do we have one?
Yeah,
Oh,
Marcy.
shit. Okay. Hot take, I guess, but for me, biopics, mostly musicians, biopics can be become boring and redundant for me, even though some of them are different. Most of them have the same story. Basically.
You have to stop having people directly associated with the creators. Like the Michael Jackson, the Jackson estate is in on producing that film. Yeah, if you're going to do a true,
Mhm.
movie, a dramatic movie, you can't have people that are like affected by the story sign off on what happens, because it's just going to be like a puff piece.
It's gonna be too safe. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I've said for years I can't wait to see a Metallica biopic, but I don't want it while they're alive because it's going to be like Jason Newsted was an asshole and
Lars was a bitch.
Dave Mustaine didn't contribute shit. Cliff Burton was a god and nobody measured up, and we're awesome. And that's going to be the movie.
I heard that was a spoof. Is that really a biopic? I heard it was like a fantasy type of.
It was
weird, right? Wasn't it
spoof
weird?
thing? Yeah, I never watched it, but it was like biopic parody thing.
I need to check that out. I think my favorite biopic is Walk the Line. What's love got to do with it? La Bamba and The Doors. I think The Doors has the best reenactments of concert scenes in any film ever. It just feels so fucking raw, like you're there. But on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and end it. I know you got some things to work on, and Charles, I think you've had enough of me for the evening.
What?
And but I think we're good. Plus, I got to go put the kid to bed as well. But anything you guys want to promote that you're working on? Share your love, how much you love me, and how much you've missed me.
I mean, at some point soon, I'll have that 10 horror movies that should have won an Oscar video. And then I'm going to South by Southwest. So it really just depends on when I can get time to record. They're premiering The Accountant 2, Death of a Unicorn, Drop, and a lot of other indie movies. So you'll for sure get an Accountant 2 and a Death of a Unicorn and Drop review. But as far as the indie movies, it just depends on which ones really stand out to me. And then a ranking, of course, after I get home.
Yeah. Charles?
The missus is off at the end of the week, so we're going to be collaborating on something. So nothing new or exciting, but it's nice to work with my the smarter person in this house. But it won't be. It'll be like a week or two away.
Yeah. For me, I'm actually vested in Daredevil, so I think I'm going to do. I don't know if I should do.
Oh yeah. I'll have a review out for that tomorrow too. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do like episode reviews. I don't know if that's best or just wait till the season is done and then do a review. But I definitely want to give it a shot since I've spoken about it, and I'm a big DD fan. So there's that. It's a lot of Root Device stuff that's coming up as well. No interviews with porn stars or anything like that, or sex workers as of late. But it's been super busy over there. Can't complain.
Mm-hmm.
And what else? I'm turning 48 March 30th. So again, I'm getting there. I'm getting old. So life's good, man. I can't complain.
We're leaving Marcy.
Yeah. Okay, well, one second. But I would love a Stevie Wonder biopic. The Ray Charles one was good. Yeah, Stevie Wonder, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. But on that note, good night, guys. Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to these guys over here. They already are. Never mind. Bye. And